power, bro. So you better be on your best behavior.
It might get chaotic today.
I gave it 3 before.
You might get booted like that.
Oh, see, it's already starting. I could tell today's going to be one of those
You ever heard
days.
of 3 strikes you're out?
Yeah.
You got 3 times.
But J-Rob,
backed out 3 times. I'll see y'all later.
Just so you know, anytime you need me to, I can do this to Dub. Anytime you come in.
And then I'll bring myself back.
Yo, this is going to be ridiculous. Yo, will you chill? Yo,
I won't do it.
Okay.
Jay, you got it.
Oh my God! All right,
JD,
everybody.
I will do it. I just like that I can do it.
I'm about to do a solo show today. Of course, before we start, there's LDs in the chat already, as always. So appreciate you guys showing me love. That says LD. The L stands for love. I know that you guys love me, so I take that as a compliment, chat. Welcome back to another episode of Players Choice. We got 33% of Fluent and Chill up here with the Sports Fluent.
What's up? What's up?
And we got J-Rob.
Yo, what's up?
Mr. Gridiron. J-Rob, did you play football?
Nope.
All right.
That's a lie.
I didn't think so.
He played in college.
I know, but
he was on that. J-Rob was.
Don't worry. When J-Rob comes back, when J-Rob comes to Jersey, when J-Rob comes to Jersey, we gonna see how bad I do him on the football field.
Do we still have that bet? JD, do you know about this bet?
No, I don't know about this bet.
So Dub is going to run 10 routes, and J-Rob, who used to be a DB in university, is going to cover him. And if he catches one, I forget what each person has to do, win or lose, but all Dub has to do is catch one on him.
J-Rob, I'm catching one.
You're not.
I'm catching one.
I think
my routes are impeccable.
You strike me as like you have very slow feet. You just look like
I just know Dub unathletic as shit. Like I could just see it. Like I could tell.
I know zero about football. Never played football. I've played football maybe 10 times just in terms of like running around on the field and throwing and whatever and like running routes. And I would probably stop you 10 times.
Nah, I'm not gonna hold you.
And you 6'3".
Especially when I was in high school, like in shape. I'm out of shape bad right now. I'm not gonna hold you, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, for a guy that didn't play football, like if I gotta go out and play on the field, like friends I know, like I'm not on the football field. I'm not a liability at all. And then I wrestled in high school as well. Volleyball. I used to love playing volleyball too, and I used to kill in that. My team almost won the tournament, but
with no bounce.
For me.
It
was average.
He was a libero.
He's got the bump.
It was average.
Yeah,
it was average
for
my size. For my size, I'm more athletic than what a lot of people think. Like I'm stronger than most for my size. So whenever like if I get in a fight or like wrestling with people get shocked on like how much power I have.
I used to wrestle, no?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good time. I loved it when I used to pick people up and slam them.
I used to do WWE wrestling with my friends. Rock bottom motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's better than them tights and stuff Dub was wearing.
I was wearing a singlet. It's called a singlet.
Yo,
I got a picture. You want to see? Hold up.
Oh boy! Shout out to MC Robinson re-upping his membership to the Players Choice YouTube channel for 4 months. Thank you, MC Robinson. He said this show gets better and better each day. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you, my bro. Yo, chat, who's all here that caught Fluent and Chill last Thursday? Their return episode. Who was there? Also, before Dub shows us this picture that I'm about to tear up looking at, we have a clips channel now for all Players Choice clips. That we just have too much content, which is a good thing. We have too much content to just throw up on this main channel, so we now have Players Choice clips. The link to the channel is in the top of the chat if you're here live. Otherwise, top of the description of the YouTube channel. And who is kicking their feet like that, bro?
I didn't want to say anything. I was like, but let's shout out Gabby. Gabby just goated Chill and I. So Gabby, we good.
Yeah. And
I hope that's his little brother.
I think it's Gabe. By the way. But
it's Gabe. I see 3 E's. I call it Gabe.
Yo, that is crazy, swinging the feet like that. Okay, sorry. Anyway, what I was saying, top of the description on the YouTube channel, on the podcast. The
JJ,
podcast description.
Get the fuck out of here. They're laughing at you. Were you kicking up your feet like a little girl? No, you wasn't. I apologize for that. I think he's texting the girl right now. He probably has
Okay. Gabe.
Oh my god. And while we're on announcements, I announced this last show, but we changed the tiers, and we added This Might Get Nasty with Shaq and Euro. Dub and Ron were on the last episode 2. Make sure, if you want to check that out, make sure you subscribe or join the This Might Get Nasty membership level. But also just go look at all the membership tier levels and see what's been changed, what's been modified, what perks you get at each level. And as always, shout out to everybody tuning in live today, right now. You know the entry fee. You guys are all regulars. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, Dub, let's see this.
Oh, boy.
Put on full screen. It's a little bit dirty.
Zoom in on him.
You can
Give
zoom
him
in
a
on
tight
it.
zoom. Give him a tight zoom.
Give me the tight zoom.
My bad.
I need it. So we got, it's a little bit dirty, but this was me slamming somebody in like our senior night. Picked them up and going down to the ground. I think one of my friends over here was cheering me as I was doing it. You can't see him.
Oh,
though.
so you're not the guy being picked up off the ground. You're the
Nah, and I seen the camera and I did a pose and I
you're
smiled a
the
little
picker
bit.
upper.
That is
Not a
dirty.
little bit.
So yeah, see those quads, see the definition
word.
right there.
Your
Yeah.
legs are kinda
calves.
strong.
No, my legs are not. They're strong. They're not kind of strong. They are strong. And then that's me
Excuse
smiling
me,
right
bro.
there.
Pause.
Mhm.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, Jordan 2 valid. I went up against Ewing. I do live in the Mercer County area in New Jersey, so yeah, that's where I be around, brother.
Local celebrity.
There you go.
Fire.
I was 132 in high school.
Have you guys had this?
132 and
Local
138.
celebrity. Have you guys had this yet? I took my kids to this haunted farm last night, and after we finished getting scared, I'll send you the clips.
After you finish getting scared.
I'll send you the clips, J-Rob. They go through a corn maze and things are jumping out at you and like crazy. But anyways, we're at the concession stand getting like some fries and stuff for the kids. And this guy who he says, "Hey, I remember you." And he has his Raven mask. I'm like, "Yeah, I just saw you in the maze. Like you were trying to scare me, right?" He goes, Nah, you're on that show. You're that guy." I'm like, "Yeah, I am, man."
Yeah. There you go.
I'm like,
That-
"Don't scare me." Like,
That's fire.
Nah, that happened to me at like a 24-hour fitness. I was at a 24-hour fitness in New Jersey playing pickup with my friends. And like just some random dude walked up to the court and like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "I see you on TikTok. Like, are you on a show or something?" I was like, "Damn, it's kind of weird." You know what I'm saying?
Yo, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Of everyone that is involved in Player's Choice, the one who helped start the shit has
Never happened to you?
It's never happened to you? Oh shit.
No, I just look like an average white guy. Of course not.
Nah, that shit has
I
definitely
just look
happened to me.
very
Bro. Like,
average.
for sure, bro.
Mars, has it happened to you yet?
I don't go outside, so so I haven't had the opportunity.
Wait,
I
they
don't
never
leave the
recognize
house.
you in
There's
VR chat,
probably
though?
people waiting outside Mars's house, though. Let's be honest.
Word.
That's good, Mars. You shouldn't be outside. It's crazy in London, not here.
Yeah, stay
Word.
inside. Stay
Word.
inside. MC
You was in
Robinson with the
Central
super
C?
chat.
Mars?
Huh?
You was in the Central C?
No, I heard he had a song trending on TikTok about him not being homophobic, but that's
Yeah,
as far
yeah,
as that's as far as
Nah,
I
he's
know.
fired though. I ain't gonna lie. He's fired. I don't know if it was like that UK drill, but he's gas.
All right, MC Robinson, super chat. Yesterday was a great day of sports. Wiggins and Poole got their big contract. Tennessee beating Alabama, and Deontay Wilder first round knockout in his first fight back. I saw a clip of that, the Deontay Wilder knockout, but didn't watch the fight. Did anyone up here watch that?
I
Didn't
don't
even know he
really-
came back.
I was
didn't know
watching
he came
USC
back.
lose by 1.
I don't
Right.
think like I don't care about Deontay Wilder. I mean, I think he's like top 2 fighters in the world right now. So him coming back and knocking somebody out doesn't impress me. I expect him to do that. It's just Tyson Fury's a top dog, bro. So it's like you got to bow down to the king. I seen him on a Pivot podcast talking that shit. He real mad, bro. He real sick that Tyson was doing him like that, bro. He is real sick.
I don't
about
want to
that.
get into it with you this early, Dub, but I gotta ask you because you said something. No, you said something, and I hear it from a lot of people. And so I'm curious. You said I expected it from him, so it wasn't impressive. And I feel like people take that across a lot of sports. So because I expect someone to drop 30 when they do, that's still not impressive. Like if we're talking, I'm going to put it in basketball terms. Is it just because you expect it? Does it make it less impressive?
No, it's not. So let me rephrase it because I do have that same type of thinking because when we're talking about like dropping albums and stuff, people compare Drake's projects to his old projects and it's not the same. And they say, oh, it's trash, but it's really good. It's not that. It's just I think what he did is great. First round knockout is great. But the thing is, in my opinion, you're a top 2 fighter in the world. I know you for your strong power. I mean, it is what it is for me. Like what you did is impressive. You are correct in thinking that, but for me, it's like, bro, this is who you are. I know this is who you are. So you coming out knocking people out, it's you. It's like KD. KD dropping 30 on 15 shots. We know he's gonna do that. It's like he does that. That's him. You know, Deontay Wilder is him knocking people out.
That's too bad because that isn't like if anybody else does it, it's wow. He does it, and it's like, that's too bad. All right,
but that goes to your greatness. That goes to your greatness. You're so great that we know
goes to your greatness. You know.
Yeah.
Yo, check this out. Dorian Clayton re-upped for 6 months. 6-month member on the YouTube channel. Been rocking with y'all for a long time. Best sports podcast right here. Fire. Appreciate you, brother. Tober follows up, sent super chat. Ticket told y'all Wiggs and Poole getting contracts. Hashtag ethered.
How was that ether? Didn't I?
It wasn't ether. He said
I don't think
everybody knew that.
Ethered.
I think he meant ethered, but I don't think any of us on the panel
anybody really not think they were getting.
I don't think we disagree.
Like, what are we talking about? I don't
Well, you
think
got
that was
ethered.
the boys played great.
Mamba Multiverse sent a super chat, said, "What's up, fellas? Love all the different content avenues. Congrats to my boy Devin Haney with the big win yesterday. Keep doing y'all thing. Keep going. Yo, Mamba Multiverse, appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Yo, chat's already popping off with super chats, membership, re-ups. We are going to, since you guys have sent already, we're going to talk about the Poole and Wiggs contract extensions. But first, of course, Dub has a monologue that he would like to kick the show off with.
So shout out to Bake. I've seen him. Dub, I expect top left energy today. That's exactly what you're going to get. I'm not here to disappoint you guys. First off, everybody forgot about this. We had our debut opening gym with me and Mars. The Dubonairs from Mars is taking over. It's actually a great turnaround, amazing turnaround. Everyone, I need to remind y'all, please try your best to show up at Friday, 12:30 Eastern time, so that you can have an opportunity to debate with me and Mars or other guys who watches the show and just kick it with us. It was a vibe. It was a great time. Mars, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, it was fun. Obviously, if you have a camera, that's beneficial, and the better setups will obviously get prioritized. But if you guys just want to come talk basketball, it's a great place to be. Everyone we see you guys in the chat. Like most of us read the chat. We see you guys talking. You seem to say that you know about basketball. We're giving you guys the opportunity. I don't know why you wouldn't take it.
Mars, I heard you kick somebody yesterday or Friday.
He said that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was better than Trae Young.
He kicked 2 people, and the Lakers winning the championship.
Yeah, that also had to get kicked.
That was
I can get with that. It's not gonna happen, but I can get with that.
Yeah, they got kicked.
Nah, so yeah, Mars said on the end of the show at the end of the show last time, he said, stop being keyboard warriors. So I think we should keep that hashtag keyboard warriors. We don't need you to do that. We need you with your cameras, with good mics, and make sure everything's stable. And if you're gonna talk shit on here. But don't be typing on the keyboard like that. Don't have Twitter fingers, man. Because yeah, I don't like that.
Dub was gonna say something. Okay, anyway, I thought you had a monologue, Dub.
There's some super chats. I thought you wanted to read them first.
No, I think you wanted you to. You have a beef I think you have a beef with my co-host. Is that right?
Yeah, that's one. I'm gonna address that first because it was ridiculous. What he said was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a couple things coming from Dub here. SSJ Gabe with the super chat. What's up, Dub and Mars? Open Gym was dope. Love being a part of that.
Que lo que, papi?
I'm glad that we started that.
Dominican brethren
get involved, man. That's
One more candy.
One more candy, bro.
How you get one more
still
candy
lives
from
in my
in
head.
the chat. It's in the chat.
It's
really?
crazy. That shit lives rent free in my head. JD, I'm also a baseball guy. I'm sorry for your Seattle Mariners. I wanted them to win against the Houston Astros, bro. I watched like up until the 12th inning, and I was like, oh my god, bro, I gotta get out of here. Went to the Kraken game, and then that was a demolition too. We just got absolutely railed last night in all Seattle sports. It was terrible.
Okay, let's go. Tober follow-ups up. I need to clarify something. You said low dub. Mars said Poole was getting waived. I said that they should have paid Poole. So I said that they should have paid Poole and that they were going to
Bing bong.
So let me clarify
Bing
that.
bong.
That's the first headshot right there. Number 2. Chilltown really pissed me off on the panel the other day. And Jay, as I was working on this and I was trying to clip it up, I literally turned everything off. I said, I cannot do this anymore. I'm so frustrated. I exited out of the whole entire screen and I took my ass to bed. Because this man really gonna sit here and try to tell the whole youth of America, the whole entire basketball world, that Kobe Bryant learned so much from that Redeem team on to be a better leader and better player, that was the reason why he won an NBA championship in 2009. Forgetting the fact that the year before, Kobe Bryant went to the NBA championship in 2008. The reason he lost to the Boston Celtics has nothing to do with his leadership, has nothing to do with these intangibles that he's talking about. It has everything to do with the fact that the Boston Celtics was a better team, not because of intangibles and he had to learn how to become a better leader and better player. Do I think that him on the Redeem team helped him be more personable? I can agree with that sense, but to fully credit that as the main catalyst of him winning a title the next year is completely asinine, bro. It's asinine. In 2009, he beat the Orlando Magic, who was a worse team than the Boston Celtics. And if you don't believe that, let me clarify this for you. The Boston Celtics took that Orlando Magic team to a Game 7 without Kevin Garnett. So, of course, Kobe went up against a matchup that wasn't the Boston Celtics, which is why he won. Then the next year, he beats the Boston Celtics, not because of leadership, because they added a guy who could really help them out with that in a Meta World Peace or Ron Artest, or whichever name that he wants to have. So please save that bull crap, bro, because it makes no sense. And if you want to clip this up,
it's not ridiculous to say that.
Thank you. Like, come on, man. Like, I get it. Like,
the irony.
I get it, bro. Like, I get it. If you want to say like Kobe, like, had to learn from the Redeem team and everything, I could get with you in that aspect. But fully credit him winning a title because of that.
I think you did leave. You did. You may have left after that because we did talk about it some more. So what his point was. So I'll say I don't want to speak for him because he's not here, but I will. His point was that Kobe learned to be more personable because even at the beginning of the Redeem team, right, he's sitting by himself. Right, that first meeting, he's sitting by himself away from the team, which was Kobe's thing. Right, like if you know Kobe, you watch the Lakers, like I watch the Lakers. You know Kobe. He separated himself from the team. He was just about himself. He was about basketball. He's whatever. He feels like by the end of it, when you see them like singing happy birthday and they're all like, you know, the families are there and it made him more personable to the players because for a long time, no one wanted to play with Kobe because they were like, he's an asshole. And he was, let's not get it twisted. He was, but then they realized, oh, there's another side to him. You can actually, you know, hang out with him. And as long as it has to do with working out, basketball, you know, or whatever, you could be friends with Kobe, and it made him more personable to people. So I agree. The Redeem team did do that for like this much, but my argument was he did way more for the guys on the Redeem team to teach them how to be professionals, how to work out, how to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, not getting home from a club at 5:30 in the morning, go to the gym and work out at 5:30 in the morning. Like that's what you should be doing to be the best. So I think he did more for that team about how to win, how to be professionals than they did for him. But yeah, they did a little bit for him to make, like I said, to make it more personal. So that's where we got by the end of it. That's what we agreed on.
And for him to try to downplay that is ridiculous.
Because he doesn't like Kobe very much.
He doesn't. No, I think what he hates is that he hates how everyone views Kobe Bryant and feels as if the way that we view him is a bit overrated. Which he's wrong because of that. Because if you're not going to listen to people, listen to what the damn coach said on the Redeem team. The first practice that Kobe Bryant got on there, he didn't say this to the cameras. He didn't say this to anybody else. He said this to his assistant coach. Yo, this is the best practice we've ever had. That's Kobe going in there and changing the whole environment and changing the whole ideology of the team, saying, "Nah, we got to put in this work. We got to put in the garbage buckets. We got to die for loose balls. We got to put in all this extra energy because that's what our competition is doing. And if our competition is doing that, we need to have that same type of energy or not. That's when we're gonna fucking lose." And to act as if he did not have that crazy amount of impact on the team is it pisses me off, Fluent. It pisses me
Mark
off.
this day. Mark this day in your book, JD. I agree with Dub.
Yeah, I agree with Dub too.
Nice,
Yeah,
Dub.
I agree with you 100%, Dub. I actually agree with you 1,000%. I think the only thing that benefited from that Redeem team was probably what Fluent said, personability. You know, he probably was a little bit easier in the locker room. That probably the biggest thing that happened from that. But
Yeah,
I agree with you, bro. 100%.
Only took 174 episodes for you to take a dub. Elite. Get your bars up, media. Sent super chat. This is my favorite NBA debate show this year by far. Keep up the great work. Salute, panel. Thank you. Get your bars up. Appreciate you, bro. You're our favorite viewer, bro. You're our favorite viewer this year.
That's a fact. Now we're gonna take a little quick left turn, and now I don't think Fluent is going to agree with me.
Let's go, baby. Butter him up to take him down.
So, I've been thinking about this for a very long time now, and I've been having these little debates in my mind just about the basketball world and how we view things in general. And I come to the realization that there's no truth. There's nothing, no right or wrong answers. Well, there is wrong answers, but the majority of times when we're talking about great basketball players, it's hard to decipher what's truly right and what's truly wrong, especially when we're talking about top 5, top 10, and top 20 guys. And I would just like to say that I believe a lot of our opinions is affected due to the situations that people are a part of, due to the impact that people are a part of to and put in positions for them to exceed. Like I say all the time, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they were put on one of the greatest teams to ever be assembled, and they won championships because of that. And people hold these guys to this crazy status without putting in context of these guys were also a part of a great situation what led to those accomplishments, led to all of that. LeBron James, for instance, if LeBron James never goes to Miami, LeBron James never goes back to Cleveland, we probably won't even view him as a top 2, top 3 player in NBA history because he had to put himself in a situation where he could be compared and looked in that light. If Michael Jordan's not on the Bulls, if he's not playing with Scottie Pippen, he's probably not the greatest basketball player of all time because what people love to do, they want to see winning, they want to see win chips, and that affects their argument so many times. Stephen Curry wouldn't be looked at the same if he was a part of a different team besides the Golden State Warriors. And the way I say this because I need you guys to understand that there's so many players in NBA history that get disrespected and get dismissed or get forgotten about. Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, due to the situations that they were a part of. Carmelo Anthony was never on a championship caliber team. Tracy McGrady was never on a championship caliber team. But what do people say? Oh, he's not a winner. He can't get it done. He never got there only because he was never on a team that was capable of being put on that type of elevation. So, and then there's another thing that goes out in the world: facts over feelings, facts over feelings, and I hate that because what people do
because we're feelings over facts.
No, it's not even feelings over facts. The thing that people misconstrued is that all these opinions are feelings. You look at stats to make you feel as if player A is better than player B, but you're using stats and facts to make you feel a certain way. For example, I say all the time, stats are a measure of the player and the situation in which they were a part of. One of this scenario was Mars is a witness to this. We was talking about Magic Johnson and Chris Paul and who was a better scorer. And somebody ran to relative true shooting percentage. And I was like, listen, bro, even though Magic Johnson cleared him on relative true shooting percentage, you have to put that into context. You have to put that in the context that Magic Johnson played in a weak Western Conference, which allowed him to go against lesser competition. On top of that, Magic Johnson played with an all-time supporting cast of a Kareem, of a James Worthy, of Jamal Wilkes, and Norm Nixon to help him have that type of efficiency numbers. I think his was like 10% above relative true shooting average. And I said that as people who analyze the sport and any sport in general, we need to be able to separate these players from their stats, separate these players from their situations, and truly analyze them for who they are. And I think that is the closest thing that we have to the truth.
Dub, this was Mars's accolade argument, just an American accent.
Just an American accent.
Yeah, it's exactly what I
Because-
said, pretty much.
Yeah, just with
No, and I agree, but what you didn't highlight on is the statistics argument. You like using statistics in a way to support your argument, and I say, well, statistics are also a product of the situation that you're a part of. Allen Iverson, for instance, he was known for his inefficiencies, mainly because of the situation he was a part of. He was part of a team that was a terrible floor spacing team, but guess what happened? He went to the Denver Nuggets, and he had the best efficiency. I think he closest to the best efficiency numbers he had his whole entire career. Why is that? It's because his situation got better. His situation allowed him to have better efficiency numbers because there was more floor spaces in another
I did not hear Mars's accolade.
He said this a long time ago. And another
I didn't hear that, but I'll say this. No. Well, all that nonsense you just spewed, just no. Just no. No. That sounds like someone who doesn't want to like make a call on something. Yeah, there's a million ifs. If he played on a different team, if he wasn't teamed up with that player, if your grandma had, a ding-a-ling, she'd be your grandpa. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking ifs, right? But the reality is, this is the team you were put on. These are the teammates you had, whether they're hurt, they're injured, I don't care. That's the situation. Those are the cards you are dealt. Play them. So yeah, you can if the shit out of it so that no one can ever make a decision and it's relative. No, it's not. This is the situation you're in. Who did the best with the situation they were in? You bring up guys like Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady was on a championship team. Had he stayed where he was in Toronto with Vince Carter and those two developed, they would have been the beasts of the East. But he decided, I want to be the man. He made that stupid choice. And then he started getting hurt. And yes, he never had a team go past the first round. So you know what? He made that decision. He lives with it. Period. I'm not making excuses for him. No.
So,
who else did you bring up? Magic, true shooting percentage. You know what? Listen, anyone who uses one stat to prove a point, agreed. That's a very casual take because what will people do? Well, if I want to make a case for someone, I'm going to tell you all their positives. And if you want to knock them down, you're going to give them all their negatives. Duh. The true people will look at both the positives and negatives and the eye test and the accolades because accolades do matter. They're voted on by people who watch a lot of basketball. But you don't just say, hey, he was first. Hey, did he finish first, second, third, fourth? How many times? Like there's value to that. There's value to winning. There's value to stats. There's value to production. Of course, you need to know who their teammates are. And all of those things go together. So the true shooting percentage, as an example, Chris Paul played in an era that shoots threes. And if you go 1 for 1, you get 150%, which is stupid. That's not math. So the fact that someone has a true shooting percentage without shooting threes, that's damn impressive. Damn impressive. Because he's getting a bump for hitting 150% when he goes 1 for 1. That's dumb. So all of these things go into effect. You cannot if it because you'll if everybody to death. If he had a better defense, if Jordan didn't have Pippen, I love this one. If Jordan didn't have Pippen, he wouldn't have any rings. Really? What if instead of Pippen, it was somebody else? What if it was Barkley? What if it was Olajuwon? Because he almost went to the Rockets on draft day. So if he goes to the Rockets with Olajuwon, he's not winning chips? Of course he is. Give me a break. And who's going to be the alpha of that team? Not mild-mannered Olajuwon. It's still going to be Jordan. And maybe he wins 8 now if you want to if it to death. So, yeah, the if is just a weak way of getting out of an argument.
So I have to. Well, it's okay. Now it's a rebuttal time. Rebuttal time. If you're working at a job, right? If you're working at a job and you have a team that's working with you and you're the boss and you're watching them work, I think it's truly important to recognize who's putting in the most work, who's in a situation to decipher who's the better worker. I can't just sit here and say, well, this team and this guy's the best player on this team right here, that he's the best worker because they're producing the most. And then I look at another team where a guy who's doing all of the work on that team and the team is not able to perform, not because of that worker's efforts, but because of the team efforts and they're bad. A good boss is going to sit here and look at, all right, I see that this worker right here is putting in all the extra work. He's doing exactly everything that he needs to do, and his team is holding him back. Then they'll look at the other, they'll look at worker B. He's on a great situation with a great supporting cast, which benefits his play, which benefits his work style, which puts him on this status and allows him to have his stats and these accolades that he's a part of. This is why I say the best thing to do is to strip these guys because
and you know who gets the promotion and the raise?
It shouldn't be the guy. It shouldn't
the guy
be the guy
who's on the team that produces more. Trust me, I'm a VP of a company. That's who gets the raise and the promotion.
And I think and how many times
the guy on that weak team figure it out. That's
how many times
business is cutthroat. We don't say, oh, if you were on a better team, you would have produced more, you would have sold more. No. Too bad. It's the guy who produced more that gets the
and those are the type of decisions that could be wrong decisions and could hurt the business that people are a part of for the long term. Because what if that guy is not as capable as worker B? There's things like that. It's not about what if. These are the facts. These are the facts. These are the facts.
What if?
These are the facts. No. These are the facts. Wait. Hold on.
I agree with that.
How many times that a worker, a boss made a wrong decision because they seen a guy in a crazy ass environment which allowed him to be who he was, and that person failed. It's happened numerous of times, Fluent. I've been working my damn self. I've been in that environment as well. It happens all the time because they see the stats, they see the accolades, and like, all right, this guy produced this. Once you put him in a different environment where he can't lean on those guys, he cannot excel the same way in which he used to. And that's why I say we have to include all these factors. Context matters, and context will always matters. And how that this relates to basketball in the world, because I say all the time, bro, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Chris Paul, Stephen Curry, all these guys had different situations which led to them succeeding in their own way. And that is, to me, is the furthest thing from the truth in which we have to know if player A is better than player B. The best thing to do is separate these guys from these situations and analyze them. And that's the closest thing we have to the truth. Because can you imagine if Chris Paul, can you imagine if Stephen Curry came in the league with a caliber of Kareem and Jamal Wilkes and Michael Cooper? We just can't penalize these guys because of the
but again, you're creating a situation that is impossible to judge. So if Steph Curry came into the league in 1979, 1980, he wouldn't see the court. You know why? Because he wouldn't have spent his life shooting threes. And he wouldn't be a good three-point shooter. He would be a little guard with bad ankles, and he wouldn't see the court. But you don't want to put that into perspective. You just want to take him from today and throw him in this time machine and say, if he came in with a guy like Kareem, he wouldn't see the court.
Oh, okay. So I agree with you.
So you're creating a situation that's impossible to actually diagnose. I think you have some agenda with Magic lately. So you're trying to make a point, but it's not going anywhere because you can't. Because if you have to what if it and change it and create a dynamic and flip it and smack it and rub it down, then no, sorry, that's not a case for you.
Nobody's changing. Nobody's changing anything.
The other thing is you can't say that context matters and then start eliminating the context that exists. So like you're just throwing in hypotheticals of if he had X player on this team or if he was in this situation, he would be this, when that doesn't exist. So you really wouldn't know. You're looking at what they're doing on, let's say, a shitty team, right? Some guy, Bradley Beal. All right, Bradley Beal putting up. It's always Bradley Beal. Puts up insane numbers, right? Great scorer on the Wizards. Okay. And then so you look at him and you're like, okay, if I can insert him into this team, surely they're going to be successful because this guy can run it up, right? Mm-hmm. But the context in that situation is that he's the scorer. There's not really any other scoring on his team. So, of course, he could run the numbers up.
All right. So, this is how I know you guys aren't even listening.
So, here's what you can do, Doug.
Wait. Let me
take it, Junior.
Here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. Yeah. Here's what you can do. You can look at, if you want to compare players, look, it is going to be opinion. Of course, there's going to be some opinion. But if you want to compare players, you compare, unfortunately, what they actually did on the team they were actually on, what they actually produced in the era they were actually in, and you try to compare that to what the other person did on the team they were actually on with the teammates they actually had in the era they were actually in. Now, is that an exact science? Nope. But it's the only real way to evaluate them because switching their scenarios may change everything. Change everything.
And you also don't need to use, I don't even know why we use so many hypotheticals, but you really don't need to use hypotheticals to, if you watch basketball, played basketball, watch it for a long time, you can look at a player like, all right, let's look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Terrible situation, right? Mm-hmm. You can recognize that guy is a top 10, maybe even better than top 10 point guard in the NBA, even though his team is shit. But you can see how talented that this guy is and what he can do on a poop team. And you don't necessarily have to just look at his numbers that he's putting up, you could use that to put context behind it. But if from the eye test, you could tell that this guy can ball, right? So we can still do this, and you can still look at players that are on teams that are successful and look at guys that are on teams that are unsuccessful, and you can still say objectively that this guy's a better basketball player than.
So this is why I say you guys aren't even listening. I didn't say if Chris Paul's on that team, he's winning chips. I didn't say if Stephen Curry's on that team, he's winning chips. I did not say that. I said that the masses will view him differently because of the situation that he's a part of. I didn't say that they're going to automatically win chips.
Hypothetically.
I did not say that he was winning chips. I did not say anything. I think that everybody will look at them differently because of the situation that they're a part of, because they would be in a better situation. So that's one. I didn't say, oh, if this guy's here, then this is going to happen. I say if this guy's here, then this is going to happen. I did not even say that. So don't put words in my mouth, number one. That's not what I'm saying. What I do is, Fluent, I analyze what they do on their team. I analyze the performance and the talent which they have on the team in which they perform. And then I judge my basis on that. Chris Paul is a guy where 20 points per game score, great playmaker, great defender. He has a great impact on the game, but the main knock on him is defense. But what I do is I'll take him away from that situation. I take Magic Johnson away from his situation. And then I'll just sit here and say, all right, to me, who is the better basketball player in my opinion? I don't include things like Magic Johnson winning chips. I don't include things like Magic Johnson playing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't include anything like that because I'm taking these guys and seeing what they perform on the court, seeing them as talents, and judging and making a basis off of this. This isn't a what-if scenario, so don't say I'm using.
Okay, so here, use what actually happened. So put CP3 on the Lakers. They go in his rookie season. They go to the finals, and it's Game 6 of the finals. Does he put up 42 and 15, or is he hurt? Well, statistics would tell us he's hurt and he's not there, and they lose.
No. So
Magic is better because
like
he
I
was
said,
play and win.
Like I said, I tell people all the time, if you want to say that Chris Paul is better than Magic Johnson because of injuries, I'm not even going to argue with you about that because that's a fair point. Oh, my bad. If you want to say, yeah, Magic Johnson's better than Chris Paul because of injury, I'm not even going to argue with you about that. I understand that completely and wholeheartedly.
You think Chris Paul's better than Magic Johnson?
When I analyze their games, when I analyze their games and analyze them as player, I don't see how it's so far-fetched to say that they're not on the same tier of each other. Because the only thing that Fluent just proved,
of course, they're on the same tier. They're both top 10 point guards of all time, regardless of who you are. You have them both top 10, probably higher.
Fluent proved my point right there. He knocked him just because of an injury. I'm saying that these guys as talented as players, bro, they are damn near probably Chris Paul could be better than him, bro. Honestly, in my opinion.
Hold on, Dub. So
cannot be better
in theory, because you are saying that you have CP3 over Magic Johnson, if you're ranking all-time basketball players, you would have to rank CP3 over Magic Johnson then.
If I'm ranking all-time?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in the same tier of them.
Hold on. No. You have to rank CP3 above Magic Johnson in your all-time rankings.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your top 10?
My top 10 has changed dramatically. I think I got MJ, LeBron, Kobe. It's MJ, LeBron, Kobe, Hakeem, Shaq, Kareem, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird. You got Larry Bird, KD, Chris Paul, Steph, Magic Johnson. But those four right there are so interchangeable.
Chris Paul's in your top 10 all time?
Chris Paul's
in your top 10 all time.
For sure.
My 8-year-old son's top 10 list destroys yours.
Why?
Because he doesn't have Chris Paul in his top 10.
You name me. No, you tell me.
Mars, step in here, Mars.
Hold on.
You started this, Mars. Why are you saving him, Mars?
No, Mars, you good. You tell me, right? You fucking tell me what is so bad about Chris Paul's game besides injuries that doesn't have him on the same.
But why are you saying besides it? If you have to make an exception, then that's part of the problem. Don't make an exception. Include his injuries. Include his inability to stay healthy. That's part of your game.
Wow. What the fuck is going on?
What the fuck is going
on? When I look at Tracy McGrady, what do? I look at these guys. Hold on. I look at these guys. I look at these guys and look at the best version of themselves. I look at these guys as the best version of themselves, and I make a judgment of that. I don't sit here and that's just what I do, Fluent. That's just what I do. That's how I do things. When I look at Tracy McGrady, what I do is I look at the best version of Tracy McGrady and how great he is as basketball. Even though his career.
Stop mentioning Tracy McGrady, bro. Please.
So hold on. Wait. Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill at their absolute best are worse than CP3.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill are worse than CP3. You're gonna say no?
So you're starting a team. Who are you picking?
Picking Chris Paul over both of those guys. Why wouldn't you?
And over Magic.
Mars, this is what it looks like when somebody's trying to play your game but can't do it right, bro. This is what happens, Mars, when somebody's trying to speak your language, bro, and they really can't do it that great, bro. And
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? J-Rob,
bro. Mars, I don't always agree with you. I don't always agree with you. I definitely am more of a winning matters in a big scheme of things guy, but I will always give you credit because you back your shit up and you do it very well. So I'm never going to let you, never going to take that away from you. We don't got to agree. But I just want you to know, this is your fault. This is your fault.
J-Rob, tell me.
Mars, this is
J-Rob,
your
let me
fault,
ask you a question. J-Rob, let me ask.
It's not supposed
J-Rob,
to
J-Rob, let me ask you a question. If I did not say Chris Paul, if I did not say Chris Paul was in that top 10 realm, would you be saying this?
That's crazy.
That's take it out.
Here's another what if.
Like Mars, I don't think Mars could ever go that far, bro. Mars, could you ever go that far?
Where does Chris Paul rank for you, Mars?
I would have to be as optimistic as possible on Chris Paul and as pessimistic on everyone else to maybe get him to like 11th. And that's me just disrespecting everyone else and praising him. And that's about as high as I could get.
Yeah, so time out. And this is why I say y'all don't even be listening to what the fuck I be saying.
We listen.
I said KD. I think KD was 9 or 10. Magic, Stephen Curry, and Chris Paul. I said I believe all those guys are interchangeable in my opinion. So that puts him in the least is a 12. I think a 12 or 13 spot. So why is it so crazy to have him in that spot? A 12 or 13. I don't care if you're gonna have Magic Johnson, Stephen Curry over Chris Paul. I'm just saying, me personally, I wouldn't have that. But I'm saying they're in the same tier of each other. So the lowest he could be is a 13 and 14 spot. How is that crazy to say?
He's not a top 10 player, bro.
What you talking about top 10? I say he's in that same tier, bro. I just put him at the 13th.
He's in the same tier as top 10 level players.
Jay, let's go through the list again. LeBron, you had LeBron, MJ, Shaq, Hakeem, Kareem.
Bro, your list was
Tim Duncan, Larry Bird,
like the last two that lost
the list was okay until
Steph Magic. There we go.
I thought your list was valid, though. I swear to God, when you was naming them names, because you was like, my list changed OD. And I was just like, the only thing about your list that may be different is like the order from most people may be different of where the players are put. But I think the 10 at least the first 8.
Yeah, it was good up until Larry Bird.
To be honest, the only thing you guys are losing, the only thing that you guys are losing your minds about is Chris Paul.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you guys are losing your mind about. So don't give me this bullshit. Don't give me this bullshit. Oh my God, you're so crazy for saying, oh my God, when the only person that you bitching about is one person. The whole list is fine. You're just bitching about one person.
Bro,
Chris Paul.
Because
you Chris Paul.
It's like you took a spelling test, bro. You got every word right. And the word you misspelled was like hat, bro.
He's not 5 to 10 in his position, bro.
Sure
when we look at Chris, you tell me about Chris Paul's game that's so fucking bad. He's a great defender. He's a good scorer. He's a great playmaker. He has a crazy impact on winning. Whichever team that he's a part of, bro, they are damn near the best version of themselves in the NBA.
In the regular season. In the regular season.
Dub, he's a great player.
Playoffs matter.
In the playoffs, he performs well as well. There's not a lot of series where he doesn't. Where he holds, bro.
You think he was a better player than Steph Curry?
I think it's debatable.
Holy shit! Hold on.
Bro, I don't think
before we go any further, I have to say this because this is why people love to to shit on player's choice. And
I
don't care. I actually don't care when people do it because it's whatever. You just have hate in your heart. You want to hate shit, whatever. We love coming up here doing this show, and we love everyone who supports player's choice. I want to first say that this is the funnest show on the planet. When Dub says something like that, there are people that exist who literally think that we have conversations before the show starts. And we're like, what crazy thing can we get off today? Like, we should just say something to blow the internet up.
That's a fact.
This does not happen.
True. So true. Good shit,
This literally just, and this is across the Player's Choice channel. This is on every show that exists. Nobody has conversations beforehand that's like, how can I go viral today? Dub truly thinks this.
Yes.
That's why it's crazy.
Yes.
And of course we're going to post it because that's crazy.
Listen, if y'all disagree,
why can't people wrap their head around that?
Listen, I could give a fuck what y'all think. I'm gonna just be real, bro. When I analyze these guys, listen, Fluent, and please, you didn't even answer this question. What
you asked me a question?
I didn't hear this CP3.
You didn't even answer the question. What is so bad about his game? I said, if you want to include injuries and knock him, that's fine. I don't really do it like that. But then that's the way I hold him to. If you look at Chris Paul's game, why can't he be there?
From a skill standpoint, skill and talent, absolutely, he's there. But there's guys that are better and have had better careers and have done more. He's been on great teams. Chris Paul's been on great teams. But listen, I'm not disagreeing. He's a great ball handler, a great passer, a great team leader, a great defender. Like, yes, he's got all those things. His knock, of course, is his inability to perform and stay healthy in the playoffs. That's part of it. And to take his team past a certain level. In what has he played? 19 years, 17 years, however many years? He made it to the finals once. And don't say he hasn't played good teams. He's had great teams.
He's had great teams.
And he's consistent, like statistically, from regular season to playoffs, sure. But when I compare him to others who've been able to step up their game when it matters most, he doesn't compete with them. Now, again, I'm not knocking him. I got him, I think, at 5 or 6 on the all-time point guard list. So he's high. That's high for me, especially because, as most of you know, I rarely rank active players. It takes a long time. You have to hit a certain level before I even consider you in those all-time lists, right? You know this from the football side. I told you, if you don't play like 8-10 years, I'm not even looking at you for an all-time list. Yeah. So the fact that I have him in top 5-6 contention, that's a big, that speaks a lot. I'm not knocking Chris Paul, but when you start saying he's better than these other guys who did more and were as good, as talented, as skilled, no, that's a problem.
So for me. You're proving my point again without even realizing it. You're saying that I got you. You're saying Chris Paul can't be here, and you're proving my point again because these guys did more. You say Chris Paul was
better because they're better.
You said Chris Paul, no, because you said that they were more. You said skill set and talent aspect. You have a point. Then you said because they did.
No, I said he has good. I'm not because people.
Chris Paul had great teams.
I want to be clear with people. Because people, when you say someone's not as good, they think you're saying that person's shit. And so I want to be clear because I've gotten in trouble for that before. I'm not saying Chris Paul is bad. I'm saying the other guys are better.
Mm-hmm. So you said those guys are better because of the situation they did more.
They're better from a skill, talent, and what they did, and production, everything.
And there we go. And when it comes to playoffs times, they elevated
their game, or he did not.
Well, Chris Paul, for the majority of his time, he elevated his game, or his game was the same exact way. You said he was on great teams, but then you exclude the fact that him on these great teams, what held them back wasn't his performance, wasn't him not being able to step
availability. Up. Your best ability is availability.
It was his availability, which is my point exactly. You can knock him for that. You can knock him for that 100%, and I 100% can respect and agree with that. But when I sit here and judge him, I don't see a guy who folds in the playoffs. I don't see a guy who doesn't perform in the playoffs. I see a guy who
not being there is folding, and
no, it's not
being
folding.
There is folding.
If you
not being there is folding.
No, I agree with Dub on this point.
If you have an
inability
to wrong. If you have an inability to show up fluent,
that's not folding. It's being hurt.
That's not folding. If you have an inability to
every year for 12 years,
I mean, shit.
That's what happens. Fluent, go look it up. That's exactly what happens.
How do you put him in front of someone who's there?
Houston Rockets. I'm just telling you.
How do you put him in front of someone who's there?
Fluent. Houston Rockets. He got hurt. Clippers every year with him or Blake getting hurt. for mostly every single
but
year.
him being hurt
And on
does not
top of
make him
and
debatably as good as somebody like
Fluent,
Steph Curry, bro. Like it
Fluent,
doesn't, dude.
and Fluent.
It
I've
doesn't.
already agreed with you in a sense where if you don't want to include all of these injuries, I can agree with you 100% on why you knock him. So I'm agreeing with you on there. I don't know why you're fighting me and pushing back with me when I'm
Because
agreeing with you.
you're still trying to eliminate it, and
I'm
now you
saying-
got JD on there going, "Oh yeah, I agree with him. He was hurt. It's not
He's
his
not
fault."
agreeing. He's
No,
not
no,
agreeing.
whoa,
He's not
whoa,
agreeing.
hold on.
He's not agreeing. He's
I'm
not
just
agreeing.
saying being hurt is not folding. That's the point I'm agreeing with. I'm not agreeing
Yeah,
with
it's
anything else.
body
Being
folding.
hurt is not folding.
All I'm saying,
Getting folded, maybe, but
all I'm
Yeah.
saying is, due to outside circumstances, which led to him not being so successful. But when I look at him as a talent, as a player, bro, there's no way in hell that I don't think he's a top 15 player, bro.
all right, we're moving on. Thank you, Dub. That was
And if you mad about this, you mad about hearing the fucking truth. So if
Nobody's
you want to
mad
sit here,
about that. That ain't
if you
no
want to
truth.
sit here,
Dub's
if you
mind.
want to sit here,
All
if you want to sit here, get mad and spam the comments, I'll put in my
Okay.
damn.
The Dub
Hold on,
truth.
wait. I'll put in my
No.
damn.
5.
I'll put him.
Thank you.
I'll
Hey,
put
make
in
a
my
high school team,
my
man.
damn self. You can put L Dub all you want. If you upset right now, you mad
Love.
because the truth is coming to your fucking
Love, love,
face
love.
right now and getting
Nah, bro.
smacked by you, bro.
All
You're
right.
getting smacked
No way,
by you.
gang.
Jeremy
I love how Mars
Conley.
did not come to your defense
That was
except in the
terrible.
chat.
Mars is fine.
Terrible.
Mars is fine. He's good.
Yeah,
Mars,
bro,
you
see-
cool, bro.
So I've started to learn their relationship now ever since they've joined forces. Mars doesn't step in, and when he doesn't speak, you know he disagrees, but he also he knows that he can't say anything, otherwise he's breaking the alliance. So
There we
you
go.
know where Mars stands. Jeremy Conley, shout out
All
to
right.
you for re-upping your membership. He's been a casual for 3 months. Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the support. Yo, we have an insane amount of super chats. So before we get to this Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins contract extension talk, let's hit all of these. Christopher D, new sub here. Love y'all. Debating the top 10 is subjective to what you value. There is no set criteria, just your personal view on the game. So I actually saw this when it came in, and immediately I thought, I wanted to ask you guys, and I already know the answer, I think. Curious to hear what your guys' opinions on this. Do you think you or anyone for that matter who debates really anything, but obviously because we debate basketball, when you're debating basketball, can you be objective? Do you think that is possible? Even because you can think you're being objective, but there are subconscious biases that come out in your debates solely because you're just looking at it through your lens.
I personally listen, when you believe something, you try to make a case for that thing you believe in. I objective in the sense that I'll listen to another argument. Like I've had a lot with Chill, right? We debate a lot. And there's certain things where he's like, oh, you know what? I didn't think of it that way, Tone. I'm with you. Or I've said, you know what, Chill? I didn't think of it that way. I'm cool. Like I obviously disagree. As an example, Kobe at 11 for him.
Right.
I disagree with that big time. But I understand how we got to that place, right? And just like he understands why I have him at 5. So I think objective in this more in the sense that I can listen to other people's argument and understand where they're coming from. In this world, however, we know that if you say someone is better than the other, you immediately are told that you're hating on the other person and you're casual because the other person disagreed with you.
I love that. It's hilarious. Andrew G, what happened to college football? The boogeyman lost. CFB is going to be on Tuesday this
10:30.
week. Tuesday, 10:30 Eastern this week. So sorry to everyone who thought that CFB was going to be yesterday. Should have probably.
Can I just quickly? I know this is not a super chat. This is for J Rob. I just want you to know, J Rob. I don't know if you can hear my kids. They're in the next
a little
room.
bit. I can. Yeah.
You can hear them. Okay, so they are playing NBA 2K23, and when my daughter plays, right, with my son and daughter, like when my son plays by himself, of course it's NBA. When they play together, they have an agreement that it's the WNBA. Now I'm not going to say the player's name, but my daughter is playing as a certain player that you know very intimately. And I think it's like every time I see her name on the screen, I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
That's
yeah,
so
it's
fire.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to be in a video game so bad. I don't.
What they'll do. They'll like
put me in Halo.
They'll put like the 2K bus and they'll bring it to like the arena or wherever like city, and then they'll like walk. It should takes like 15 minutes, bro. You literally like walk into a van. There's like a bunch of cameras like all around you, and they just like do like a full circle of view around you. And then, bro, you're like, you walk out, and then you're in the game. You would think that shit takes mad long, and that don't. It's just like an in and out.
Bro, they just scan them like that, and they're in.
Bro, but the thing is, you got to think it's not like the face shit we do on the game. Like it's every single angle of your body.
That's insane.
So it's like you have so many views. They get every minute detail to like even your tattoos, bro. Like, cause they have so many views of it, and you just got to do like a.
That's cool.
Bro, that shit actually looks pretty cool.
I learned my lesson, by the way, J-Rob. I'm not saying nothing. Willie the Kid is asking what team is she playing on. You know what team she's using. I will not share that.
Well, she's going into free agency soon, so you know. I don't want to say nothing. Yeah, I don't want to. Yo, JD, chill.
Come to Seattle, please. Come to Seattle. I'm begging you. I am begging you, please.
It's free agency right now, brother. So
how about get Toronto a team? How about get
Seattle
Toronto
Storm? If you're listening,
2 years, bro. I think Toronto will get a team. I think Toronto, the Bay Area, and I'd probably say maybe somewhere in Florida will probably get a team. I think the biggest thing that has to happen in the WNBA before they put teams into other markets is one, the CBA needs to change because I think the money and revenue will go up with the addition of 2 more teams. And then 2, you know, if you're going to put a team in Toronto, that CBA has to change and the money has to go up because the taxes in Toronto.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a Canadian player and you're an American one, like you're going to take a big hit in exchange. So I think it'll be about 2 years by the time they'll extend to 2 teams. But I definitely think Toronto's going to be a place 100%.
Also, would love to have a Player's Choice WNBA show. So, Jerome. SSJ Gabe.
I see what I can do.
Sent a super chat. Fluent, tell a story really quick. 456 and only 7 likes.
Oh, I've been saving this one about me driving through Wyoming. We ready for that one yet?
Driving through Wyoming. I don't know if I want to hear this story. Z-Dub, do the Warriors have as many rings today if the team is coached by Mark Jackson in 2022?
I guess I'll do one of the Dougs. We can't do that. You got to put it in the context because if Mark Jackson was there, then how we know? So
I'll say no.
What was the question?
Because you can add that one. You can actually add some facts to J-Rob. You can say no with there is one caveat if he doesn't change his coaching style. Because why weren't they successful? He was trying to make Steph a true point guard. He wasn't letting him shoot.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So if he changes his coaching style, yes. If he doesn't, no.
You can make a what is it called? A educated guess.
Yes.
Educated hypothesis
would be
hypothesis.
Can I ask you guys this? You guys are talking about Steve Kerr, right?
Mark Jackson.
Don't you think that's more credited to Draymond Green? Don't you think that's more credited to like Stephen Curry playing more off ball is more credited to Draymond Green emerging rather than like the coaching systems changing?
No. I don't know if I agree with that because at the end of the day,
Stephen Curry was still with the ball in his hands when Steve Kerr
just said it. But Fluent just said it. You know, the biggest flaw with Mark Jackson, which is 100% right, and I probably should have thought about that when I was answering the question, is that you try to turn Curry into a
point guard like him.
Point guard, yeah, like an assist.
If you look at Mark Jackson, do you know Mark Jackson's top 5 all time?
Yeah, in assists. Yes,
I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, same. So that's So with that logic, you would think. I personally don't think Mark Jackson would have been creative enough as Steve Kerr was to get the most out of what Draymond's skill set is. You know, because Draymond's versatility is his biggest asset because you kind of make through him. You know what I'm saying? You can literally do that. But I don't think Mark Jackson visually saw that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but Mark Jackson also didn't have the history of Steve Kerr. Like if you think of Steve Kerr, he's on the Bulls, right, where he's learning the triangle offense, which is a forward who's initiating the offense. Yeah. It's not crazy to him. He then goes, I believe, to San Antonio. This is as a player, right? So he sees Popovich, which is a lot of read and react, motion, ball movement offense. Then he becomes the GM of Phoenix, where Mike D'Antoni is running that 7-second offense. And what do you see in the Warriors? You see a combination of all 3 of those things. You see a big man initiating offense. You see a lot of read and react, a lot of motion, and a lot of shooting. Like you go back and look at that Phoenix Suns team. Right, they had Quentin Richardson averaging 8 threes a game. Yes. Steph didn't do that until like year 7, right? 6, something like that.
Right.
So he took pieces of all those guys, and that's what makes the Warriors so unique right now. And I don't know, Mars, you can correct any of this stuff if I'm wrong, but you see a lot of those tendencies from all of those offenses in what the Warriors do today.
Mars, oh my bad, Mars. Would Mark Jackson have used Draymond Green in a similar way?
I doubt it. I'm not going to say no, but I doubt it because he was a very pick and roll oriented guy. And he's not going to have Draymond Green running pick and rolls. I don't think he was. I mean, I don't blame him. I don't think he was very big on the big men facilitating. He was more traditional, maybe because that's how he played. And you can look at how Steve Kerr played. He was an off-ball player, and he now has the best shooter ever. So he's going to use him off the ball. So I think it's just that would be my guess, but I don't know for sure.
El Host Ron sent a super chat. Said, "I want what Fluent ate for breakfast. Hashtag Kawhi back." Can we get some El Host Rons in the chat for missing today's episode? SSJ Gabe sent another super chat. Dub, I'm taking my salute back, bro. Fire. Z Dub, GOAT versus BOAT are two different discussions. Dub.
Oh, that is. Yeah.
MC Robinson, well, that just topped Bobby's top 10. W officially have the worst top 10 all-time NBA players.
Y'all mad about one player, bro? Like, get the fuck out of here. You're mad about
one bad ingredient can ruin the dish, bro. One bad ingredient can ruin the dish.
Yeah, bro. You put too much salt in that thing, bro. Way too much salt, bro.
Nah, y'all just not listening, bro. Keep open mind. It's not about
listening, bro.
Mamba Multiverse.
You just don't agree.
Mamba Multiverse said, "Dub, cocaine's hell of a drug."
I wish I knew.
Bobby
more like Molly.
Scotty over CP3.
Hit the not ridiculous button. Can we get a not ridiculous button?
That is fucking
not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous.
Bobby, J-Rob, let's not fucking do this with CP3.
It's not ridiculous to say that, bro.
Scotty's not near fucking CP3, bro. We're not.
Bro, I don't understand.
Bro, I think Scotty Barnes is gonna end the day better than CP3.
Our guy,
I just don't see, like, I understand as good as actually. Let's not go down the rabbit hole. Come on, go ahead, JD.
Our guy
gonna get cooked in that rabbit hole.
W said CP3 top 10 all time. Get off the catnip.
Get off the catnip.
Big Roan. This shit has to stop, Dub. Chris Paul, top 13.
Why not?
Cam Cobain, I love you, Dub, but the Henny is definitely talking right now. Chris Paul only averaged 20 plus in 2 seasons in his career. Steph did it 9 times in a row. That's from Tober follows up.
He's a better scorer. He's a better
scorer. Let him stats. Let him numbers. Let him numbers. I'm just saying. I let him numbers.
Even Mars knows that that's a terrible fucking stat.
All I'm saying is you boys let him numbers. That's all I'm saying. I ain't going back and forth.
Ain't nobody used numbers this whole time, J-Rob.
Nick T sent a super chat. Mark Jackson was Doug Collins to Steph. Kerr is Phil Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Not crazy.
I like that. That's a good way to put it. That's a great way to put it.
All right, fellas, let's get to it. The topic of the day, the big news coming out of yesterday. Jordan Poole signing a contract extension for 4 years, $140 million. Fluent, I saw you put something out commenting on this yesterday. So
it was right before the Wiggins announcement. I would have doubled it up. Man, wow, did they overpay Jordan Poole?
Yes. So tell us why he's overpaid.
For who he is today, look, they're paying for his potential. And I think the Dubs are in, I don't want to say crisis mode. That's the wrong term. But they want to fix after that whole punch thing with Draymond. They're trying to lock up their future because they know how many more years do they have left of this core, right? How many more years do they have left of Steph, Clay, and Dre? Clay, I think, has 1 year left. Steph has, I think, 2 years left. Dre has this year plus a player option next year. They know at some point those guys are going to drop off, and it's going to become, they need to figure out something else, but it's going to become Kuminga, Poole. It's going to become their team. So they got to lock those guys up because they don't want to have a big drop. So I think it's a lot of money for Jordan Poole. They're paying for a lot of potential there.
So do you think that it's a lot just in comparison of like this contract in the NBA or specific to the Warriors? Because I look at it as, I think a Jordan Poole, you've seen what he can do under Steve Kerr in that Warriors system. And so you're really investing in a player that fits the mold for you. And so it's not necessarily looking at, like, I mean, if you're looking at it in the totality of the NBA, 140 million sounds like a lot if he's anywhere else potentially.
But don't forget, 140 million, right, is actually 380 or 400, whatever that number is, because the luxury tax situation they're in, they're at about 150, I think, in cap. Which means
they're the top team right now.
A $400 million luxury tax. You add Draymond, assuming they're going to re-sign Draymond. I'm assuming for another 100 million or whatever, 80 million, whatever they're going to sign him to. They're going to pay over 500 million in luxury tax. That from a business perspective makes it like, whoa, do I really want to do this? Is Jordan Poole going to be that guy? 30, what was he making? 35 million a year guy?
Can I ask you this, Fluent? Because I'll be forgetting. When they win championships, don't they get like bonuses and shit like that?
Some, but not hundreds of millions.
Not to replace the luxury.
It's usually an incentive in your contract.
Yeah.
Like
so
if we go to this and we win, you get this added to it.
Yeah.
The chat is telling us 123 guaranteed, 17 of it is incentives. Which I mean, it's still a big number, regardless.
It's still,
he can ultimately still make $145
million a year.
Yeah, like you can still make 140.
Right.
So
go ahead.
I'm not going to personally say it's over. He was overpaid. I just think that punch was expensive. That was an expensive punch. Let's just be real about it. Like if nobody wants to, because at the end of the day, I personally thought he was going to have between 100 and 115. That's what I thought they'd probably extend him to. And ultimately,
say hi, Chris.
Jordan Poole was publicly embarrassed. What's up, man?
Hey, brother.
Hello.
Tell Mars, guy with the hoodie. Tell him who your favorite player is.
Steph Curry.
Okay, now you can go.
So I just personally think Jordan Poole's agent said, whatever y'all had on the table, I need.
Yeah, beautiful kids, man.
They look like their mom. Who's your favorite player?
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
No way. Why are you corrupting her like this?
Did that on her own.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right.
How dare you corrupt the youth of America?
Yeah, personally, just that punch was expensive, JD. Like, I just think it was an expensive punch. And I think when they redid the negotiation, you don't think Jordan Poole's agent didn't bring that up in negotiation? Because I damn sure would have.
Mm-hmm.
JD, if I was representing you and we was in practice and Mars punched you and knocked you out and TMZ saw the whole thing, okay, well, my client just took a public embarrassment. He played well throughout the year. He's going to be a key piece of your offense.
Right? Because he was a starter. Then Clay came back, went to the bench, no complaining.
Right. He didn't complain. He fit right in, still did his thing. And we plan on using him for the future. So y'all better up that bag. Because at the end of the day, that 140 could be somebody else's 140. Let's be real.
Yo, do you think that his agent, when he saw that, he started rubbing his hands together? He's
bro. Like Birdman. Like Birdman, bro.
Paid.
He did the Birdman.
All right, Mars.
I mean, bro, that was a guaranteed bag. If you didn't think they was re-signing him after that, that video said, yeah, he's getting a bag now.
Right. So we all
100%.
agree he was going to get paid regardless.
Yes.
The amount just got upped because of that. Got you.
Yes,
all right, Mars, this is your squad. What do you think about the extension?
I mean, he was good. Like everyone said, he was going to get paid. So it's not a surprise. I knew he was going to get extended before the season. I wouldn't pay him that much, but I understand why you pay him that much. If I don't think the Warriors are a team that cares that much about the luxury tax. They haven't done anything to suggest to me that they do.
Yeah.
So I think whatever they can pay someone, like whatever they can negotiate, the luxury tax isn't really a fault for them. I think with the Wiggins extension, he's getting like 27 a year, something like that. So that's another 27. And you got Poole 30 million. Clay's getting 40 million the next 2 seasons. Steph's extended to he's going to be 38, making 59 million. Draymond's going to get an extension. I'm assuming he's going to get somewhere in the region of like 80 million. I think they're going to keep that core 5 guys together. I mean, Looney just got an extension as well. But they're going to keep those 4 core 5 guys until Steph is no longer a top whatever player. And then that's when they break it up. So I think they're going to spend whatever it takes to keep this championship core going. And I mean, I'm happy about it. I don't want to see us rebuilding. So
question: value of your organization goes up if you win. That's why I don't think they care.
That's why I've always thought. That's why I've always said if you're a good team, you're gonna make the money back from.
So what
whatever
does
you
this?
get from being.
But the
what does this
evaluation
mean?
of your team, sorry, just to jump in, guys, the valuation of your team doesn't put money in your pocket.
It's just the value of the
So it's
brand.
just, that's like
If you were
Jerry
to sell
Jones.
the- if
Great,
you were to
it's
sell
great
the-
that the Cowboys are now worth $5 billion and
Right.
the most, valued highest team in the world. But if you're still not making money, that revenue doesn't come in unless you sell. But they're not selling, right? They're not
Right.
selling.
Right.
And it doesn't mean they get now the TV deals get better and then each team wins. They don't necessarily win. So
Draymond Green wants a max eventually, right? So what does this look like for Draymond's contract in the future?
I think this was
he's not getting a max. He's gonna get something in the realm of 18 to 22 a year for like 3 years.
I personally think he won't be there, JD.
The Wiggins and Poole deal is a big fuck you from the Golden State Warriors to Draymond Green. They paid these guys, clearly demonstrating that you're either going to settle for less money than you want or you're just going to go. And those guys, Wiggins and Jordan Poole, getting that much of a bag is their way of showing Draymond, nah, you're going to do this our way or you're going to hit the highway, bro. You're not getting the max, bro. You're not. You're gonna settle for what
I think it's
but
more.
Did they
so
give him
$100
million a year ago? Like a year ago,
I think more so their hand was forced because of the situation. I don't know that it's like sticking it to Draymond.
Yeah, I think that was like a FU.
I think it's a power. Not a fuck.
I think I agree.
I think it's a power move. It's a power move.
I think what they're looking for right now is a third team. Like, let's be honest. Draymond's trying to work his way to LA. They got Russ telling Russ he's going to come off the bench, so they're going to have to trade him because he's not going to be happy with that. So it's just a third team. Who's going to take Russ and give Golden State something they want? That's all we're waiting for. Who's that third team?
No, I don't. I agree. I just think I don't want to say it's an FU. I just think the dynamic changed because of the punch that the money went up for what these guys were going to get. Like Jordan Poole's money went up, so I think it clouded it. But I don't think it was like a FU Draymond. More of like
let me change
from
my
everything
words.
you know about Draymond and Mars. Maybe this is more directed to you because you watch them closer than everybody else. You think Draymond's gonna be okay with taking less money than Jordan Poole?
No, I don't. I don't. But what I'm saying is, I think it was more of a, like Dub said, it was a FU. I think it was more of a look what you made us do.
I don't know because think about it.
We have to give him more money.
I think Ticket hit this right on the money, bro. I mean, Ticket did say that this could have been something that the Golden State Warriors leaked. That way, they were going to be able to pay Draymond Green the money that he is worth. So this could be a power move, demonstrating that. Listen, bro, I'm siding with these guys over you. I want to pay these guys over you. These guys are my future. And either if you want to win chips, if you want to go down this road, you ran KD out the fuck out of town. You damn near slumped one of our youngest players in the league. I mean, not in the league, on our team.
No,
he slumped him.
He slumped him. He didn't damn near. He slumped him. He fell into his lap, bro. He did one of these, bro. He fell
I have a question.
He slumped him.
I have a question.
The Warriors is like, nah, bro, you gonna settle for what we going.
Nah, but I agree with Dub though. I think that video got leaked by the organization. I don't think that was like some intern that took the tape.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I think we all agree on that. Said right here on Players' Choice on the panel Tuesdays at 6 p.m. By Ticket TV. Said here first. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I'm not
shout
out to the panel.
I can subscribe to this theory too because we haven't heard. Usually, if something big like this happens, you usually find out who, maybe not the name, but where it came from, right? Oh, this was an intern, or this was a video guy, or this was a social media person that leaked it. None of that information's come out. So it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that they leaked this strategically so that they could do this. So pretty crazy.
Listen, I can't tell you too much because it's still going on. But as most of you or some of you know, I'm working on a political campaign with a friend of mine in Texas, and we talk a lot about what's going on. And historically, people in campaigns will have stuff leak accidentally, right? That either helps or hurts the other candidate. That's not crazy to think they don't do it in $1 billion sport, where people are trying to save money or do whatever they want to do. It's not ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous. That's
not ridiculous. And the fact that like the masses are not aware that like you don't think there's worse videos in these organizations.
No designs are us.
I know that's what I was. Who said that?
People don't listen.
No one told Dre to hit Poole. What they did was when he did hit Poole, they leaked the tape so that they could tell Dre, now you got to take less money.
Like to sit here and think that TMZ ain't been offering money to organizations throughout the country and all
It's
sports
tough,
for
though.
videos like this all the time.
I'm not gonna lie, J Rob. It's tough to even get those videos because if you watch this is nasty with Shaq. Shaq was saying
This
how
might get nasty.
this might get nasty. Shaq actually, opened up my eyes a little bit. He says the lengths that the media and the NBA community go to protect these guys. Let's say if we're trying let's try to go to a party, right?
Facts.
The technology they have. If you try to take a video, your shit fucks up.
Done,
you try
bro.
to take a picture, your shit fucks.
No,
So
absolutely.
it's actually
Dub,
extremely difficult to find
We've
that.
talked about it. If you're at a practice, you'll hear them say, if we see this anywhere, like we know you saw it, no one, you're not allowed back to the facility.
That's a fact, though.
Yeah,
that's why I said it don't make no sense for something to leak.
LeBron tried to stop that tape where I forget who it was who dunked on him in that exhibition or pickup game they're playing.
This is why he's a
bro.
It was a camp, I think, right? It was a camp.
Yo, why does LeBron do that, bro? Like I feel as if he
legacy.
Nope, let me not do
Legacy,
this.
man. He's
Let me
more.
not
even go down that rabbit hole. Let's just
Everybody
stay
else.
away from that rabbit hole.
J-Rob, I'm about to come at your man,
Yeah,
bro.
it's not
And
even-
this rabbit
not
hole,
even
you
big of a
definitely
deal.
gonna
Not
take
that
the
big of
L
a
in this
deal.
one.
That's not a
Listen,
big deal, bro.
Your
That's
man's
not a
your
big
man's
deal.
is a sneaky ass man. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Not a
I'll
big
never
deal,
forget
bro.
the day. I'll never forget the
big
day.
deal.
Listen, I'll never forget the day. This man had a Malcolm X book. They said, "Yo, what
Leave
did you
him
read?
alone.
What did he
Leave
say?
him alone.
What did he say?
I'm on
Leave
page
him
2.
alone.
He was a great man. He was
Leave
a
him
great man."
alone. Have you read Malcolm X?
Fuck no.
I've
I'm not
read
gonna
Malcolm
cap
X.
like
Have you read
I'm
Malcolm
not-
X?
I'm not gonna cap like I am though. I'm not
Leave him
gonna cap.
alone. Look, do we know?
That's a long book. That's a lot of words, Dub.
Hey,
That's a
Dub,
long
look,
book.
they asked him a very generic question. He gave a very generic answer. It's cool.
Generic. He didn't even answer the question, bro.
All we have to do is reference the movie. We've all seen the movie.
That's also true. But he gave a very surface. Leave it alone. He gave a little
All right,
answer.
Mars. Andrew
Whatever.
Wiggins, 4 years, $109 million. How do we feel about this contract?
He deserves that more than Poole deserves the 30, in my opinion, because he's a better player. So
I could agree with that too.
I'm happy for him. But he's coming off an already max contract. He had the rookie extension, so he's made a lot of money. So maybe he was willing to take less than Jordan Poole. Maybe that was something that was factored.
There was no punch fee in his contract, bro. There was a punch fee in Jordan's contract. I gotta just know, like that extra 20 million Mars is the punch, bro. That was the fee. For
It is interesting when you look at it. The guy who's kind of there now becoming their defensive catalyst. The first time All-Star, I think, right last year. Like you would have thought he would have got paid more, but hey, once you convert it to Canadian, once he comes back home, right? He's
loaded, bro.
Double bag. He's getting a double bag.
He's gonna have a big ass piece of farmland in Muskoka, bro.
But I understand, like you're like not wanting to pay Poole that much due to the talent. But I mean, you just gotta look at things on the emotional aspect as well. It's like you got to keep your players happy, and what J. Rob's saying is true. Like you got to pay him. You got to pay him that much money off of what just happened, bro.
The money's not coming out of my pocket. The money's not coming out of my pocket. I don't care. I'm saying I wouldn't pay him that much, but I'm not paying him at all. So
You should.
I don't care how much.
But Mars, you should. You have to. You have to pay him that much money. You got to keep him happy, bro.
Have you heard anything about like why they are so like lax about the luxury tax? Like, has there ever been like a statement like by the organization about like, we see where the luxury tax is, we're not really too concerned, you know, because like I said before, and I agree, like it don't really seem like they are too concerned about how high the luxury tax gets.
I know Joe Lacobs complained about it. He got fined because he said that it's basically unfair because all of their guys are drafted, so they shouldn't be taking this much of a hit in the luxury tax since they're just paying their drafted players. So I think obviously they're conscious of it. It's coming out of their pockets, but I mean, I think they care about it, like, but I don't think it's going to stop them from obviously paying what they need to pay. So I think if they didn't think the team was competitive, if they didn't think the team had any chance of winning, they wouldn't be paying these guys. But
there's a couple of things that go into that. One, a lot of these super rich, and when we say super rich, like Steve Ballmer is worth, I want to say $75 billion.
This is beyond fuck you money.
Yeah, he's okay. If one of his
uncancelable,
if one of his
this is beyond
loses money, if one of his businesses loses money, there are ways, right? Taxes that actually works to his benefit. So he's okay there. But that being said, on average, the Golden State Warriors, who are paying out $500-600 million in salaries, are still making $800-ish million in revenue. Right. So they're still turning a profit. So his thing is, again, he doesn't look today. He's planning 5, 10, 15 years, and he's saying, hey, we're going to create this revenue stream and we're going to build up a fan base that are buying jerseys and do whatever. So even when we start to dip, right, and our team isn't as good and our salary comes back in line and we're, at 200 million, I'm still making 600-700 million, and that's when I'm going to make my money. So, and the TV deal keeps going up. So he's not thinking of it year by year, but there's still, listen, if I told you take the Warriors 500 million a year, but you're going to make 800 million, you're taking that deal every day, right?
So you bringing in 300 million a year.
I'm taking it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I like it. I like that.
All right, switching gears here. Bushido Brown 954 sent super chat. Steph's road to his first ring came off injuries, second and third off KD, fourth injury again. If KD came to Lob City, y'all would call CP3 the GOAT PG.
Thank you, Bush Bobby Brown.
I personally don't think CP3 could have done what Steph Curry did.
Headshot, bro.
No,
okay.
it's not a headshot, bro.
KD goes a lot.
You and Boschioto can live in your multiverse where that happened.
Yeah. Okay. Bushido Brown took a bunch of 6 different hypotheticals and boom.
It's the facts, bro.
Just packed into the hypothetical sandwich. I like it.
Yeah.
Josh Gaines with the super chat just came to say ticket was right. Okay, so this is kind of along the same lines of the whole Draymond Poole situation. I mean, it's a little bit different, but it does beg the question, or at least we could get into the importance of this. And I think also if you watch the Redeem Team doc, you can kind of see how this plays into this kind of being a factor in team chemistry and just how far you can really go as a team. And my question is, how important is it that teammates become friends as opposed to coworkers? Do you think it's possible for teammates to play well strictly as coworkers or as opposed to getting to know each other and building chemistry? So everyone, for a couple things. So first of all, everyone up here has played team sports. So I think that we could actually give good perspectives based on our experience. Now, professional sports is a different beast. So there is going to be some dynamics that shift a little bit. But yeah, go ahead, J-Rob.
So obviously, the dynamic between pro and college is different. But at the Division I level, you have so many resources. And so I'm just going to take that from my experience. Yes, obviously I played on a roster with 50-something kids because I played football, not basketball. But your defense is the people that you're with majority of the time. That's really amazing, like 22 to 30 guys. And I will say this, there's cliques for sure. Like there's going to be people on the team that you resonate more with. But the thing is, you're going to be with this person every day for a 6-month stretch of time. And in football, it's from the summer damn near till spring ball. So you're with each other constantly for a year. And I do think it gets hard when you got to keep walking into a locker room, a facility, and seeing somebody because you got to play a game with. And I do think in sports, I think in certain jobs, there's not the real camaraderie aspect to it. I do think in a game like in sports, there are aspects that you got to think about. Like, I do think diving on a loose ball for your teammate or defending your teammate, that comes with, we've grown. We have a love for each other. We want to see each other win. We see each other's kids. Our families are coming around each other. My teammates' moms, I'm hugging them at games because I know your parents. I see them all the time. And I do think those relationships are important. Obviously, in the pros, you have a job to do, and that prioritizes everything else.
Right.
But at the same time, there is a level of, look, we watched Skylar Diggins and Diana Taurasi go viral for arguing with each other on the sideline, and they won't be playing with each other anymore in the season after. At the end of the day, as great as those players are, their personal relationship definitely fractured how they were able to play together, even as great as they were. They went to a finals together. But it's hard. I do think you need to be able to personally get along with your teammates and have some sort of maybe empathy or like towards them, because
so what you're saying is coworkers. What he's saying in a roundabout way is coworkers over friends.
Yes.
And I'll quickly say why I think you have to be coworkers over friends. One, being in a situation at college and pro is worse because now certain people are getting paid, and being someone who maybe got paid a little bit more than someone else who was better than me, that causes friction. So why you need to be coworkers and not friends. Friends will do stupid shit for each other. We just will. That's the definition of a friend.
Mhm.
Whereas a coworker looks at the dynamic and says, okay, this is my coworker. I want to do what's best for them. I want to protect them. But at the same time, I also have to consider what's best for the team. And so I don't want friends because friends will do, like I said, do stupid shit, and it's not best for the team. So you have to be coworkers. You have to, not even necessarily get along, but just be able to play together over friends.
You have to.
But there is a brotherhood aspect to sports, though. I think you could agree with that. In sports, there is that brotherhood aspect of it.
Yeah. That's the coworker. That's the coworker versus, you know what I mean? Like, you can still be I hate to use this term, but you can still be a coworker, like ride or die, but you're still going to look at what's the greater picture.
I think that's the better way to put it. You got to kind of be ride or die. Because, like, even if me and Dub were on the same basketball team, we didn't hang out. If somebody pushed Dub in a game, I gotta throw hands for Dub.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta throw hands for Dub.
But you don't have to necessarily be best friends off the court where you're hanging out all the time. But there is the chemistry aspect to when we step foot on this floor.
It's us.
I'll give you a great example. I'll give you a great example. Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan are friggin' besties, bro. You could see it on the court, off the court, when we see them at restaurants, at clubs. Like, they were best, or still are best friends.
Right.
Kawhi and Kyle didn't have that same friendship, but they had a what's best for the team, let's get a win. They were coworkers. That now, granted, Kawhi's better than DeMar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
I would say it is a major upgrade, though, bro. Major upgrade.
My point of the story, clearly, that there's a difference in talent. But my point was, they didn't have to be best friends to win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to be best friends to win, because the talent and the coworker and the that same team goal outplayed anything else that the friendship off the court was.
But let me ask you a question. At what point, Fluent, does it become irreparable? Because I know everybody's saying Jordan Poole and Draymond are going to figure it out. And, Clay said that whole thing about healing in ring night. That's bullshit. Because, JD, you punch me in the face and knock me out for the world to see. JG, we never right. Never right.
Yeah, that may never be
We'll never be. We scrapping every day, JD.
That might be a line. That might be a line that was crossed.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's never right.
And I can agree that there are some things that you just can't get over, right? Because, so here's the thing, even the guys that you're closest with on a team, at least for me, I've gotten into yelling matches with guys who I was even friends with off the floor, but we always keep it on the court, right? It never escalates to a physical altercation. I've never been in a physical altercation with a teammate. Maybe I've pushed them or something, and they've, pushed me just kind of because heat of the moment thing. We've never swung on each other, whatever. And these are things that you know that it's a heat of the moment thing. You go after practice, you're like, I was acting crazy. That's my bad. We move on, whatever. The next day, everything's all good. Right. So there are certain things that, like, you can do these things. It's not going to hurt chemistry, but yeah, throwing a punch is crossing line. I don't know. It takes a certain kind of person to be able to move on from that and be like, you know what?
Facts.
I understand that you messed up, but getting hit is just, it's so different. Like, that's like,
bro,
I don't know.
Video makes it worse, bro, because I could go watch it 100 times.
Exactly.
I
and
could
you
watch
can't,
it 100
so
times.
that's the thing with it, is that it just won't ever die now. The internet never forgets. That video is going to just live on forever. We're going to see this video for the next 40 years.
You saying Will Smith and Chris Rock can never be friends again?
Never right. Never right.
Never be the same way that it used to be. Draymond and Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole and Draymond Green will never be the same, bro.
Like, never right, bro.
With or without that video, that friendship will never be the same, man.
And all those things went public. That's what make them all worse, Florent. They are public consumption now. Never right, bro. We can never be right again.
And to go off at the topic in which you guys was talking about co-worker and friendship, I say all the time, any sport in which you play is a clear representation of life. If you're not doing sports right now, you need to get in sports now, because you can learn a lot of qualities, a lot of aspects of your characteristics can be used for the beneficial of your whole entire life and manlyhood. Us guys right here, we are all co-workers. We all do a good job with one another, and we have grown to become friends. But that type of co-worker dynamic that we have, I think, works best for the betterment of the podcast, for the betterment of what we do, because it's less likely for me to take advantage of a situation. There's more. I don't like to start anything with my friends. I just can't do it. I don't want to start a business. I don't want to start anything like this with my friends.
It's hard to do,
because friends are more likely to take advantage of a situation. Friends are more likely to be lax with a situation because of how close they are with you, which is why you also have to be mindful with the people that you keep close to you. us meeting each other through all of this was a clear representation of co-workers working together and growing into a brotherhood and growing into a friendship to where, like J. Rob said, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'll probably fight for all of you guys. Like I just would. Dre, me and you against some shit.
Fluent,
You
Fluent,
got-
Fluent too.
If you said except for Fluent.
Nah,
That's
Fluent, no
all for
cap.
the
If
same
anyone,
way, though.
nah,
For the
no
same
cap,
way,
no cap, Fluent.
100%.
Everyone try to fuck. If anyone try to fuck with you, bro, like I just got like, we out. In
I
the
feel the
public,
same way,
I
though,
got to,
100%.
bro. Like this
We're a
is
team.
a
I
a
agree.
perfect representation of a coworker becoming into growing into something more. But at the end of the day, that still coworker dynamic is still there, still relevant, and that's
Yeah.
very important in starting any business or any team that in which you are a part of. So, I think you have to have a blend of both, but you need to have a level of more professionalism than a friendship level.
So
Yeah.
I got to bounce, but I do want to touch on one of the chats quickly. That was just a little bit further up because someone
Stupid
said
as shit. The
he
stupidest
had
shit.
said,
Bro.
"Haven't you ever fought with a teammate before?" And my answer is yes. I've been. That's just shows the emotion that you
We
have.
fought.
For the team. Me and Dub fought. But also on team sports where I actually see people in person, I've gotten into fights. But this one was a little bit different in the sense that he kind of went after him, punched him, knocked him out, and then it became very public, right? So it is a bit of a different dynamic. Now it depends on what kind of friendship, if they did have one, they had before. So yes, we've all been on teams and you've fought with your teammates or you've got emotional with your teammates, and then like you either work it out or you separate, right? So me and Dub worked it out. We good. Other times it didn't work out and we had to go different place. Like, yeah, that happens. But I think this situation is a little bit different than two guys. Like you see it on the sideline all the time, right? People get into heated exchanges. They're arguing. They push each other, whatever. This felt different to me. I wasn't there from what we've seen. It felt different. Could be wrong, but I don't know. It did for me.
And Nelly, if I'm a CP cock rider, you're a gargle of mod ball sacks. So get that my name out my mouth.
God,
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, can I say
Fluent
one
did not
thing?
get touched up, never. Nah, you don't know me, bro.
Fluent, thank you for tapping in on Players
All right,
Choice
yeah.
today. Make sure you guys tap into Fluent and Chill every Thursday on the Players Choice channel at 6 p.m.
Send me that
Pacific,
haunted
9
house too, yo.
p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. Yeah, Fluent and Chill Thursdays at 9, and of course Gridiron. Wednesdays at 9.
Gridiron, of course, the panel
Tuesdays at 6. We got a lot going on.
Anything and everything. All right, Fluent. Have a
Ready
good
up.
one, bro.
Football tomorrow and Tuesday.
Ghost Man 231 sent a super chat. KD and Russ co-workers versus KD and Steph. The reason Golden State was so good was chemistry. When the going got tough, the win together or lose together.
Wait. He's comparing KD, Russ, and co-workers versus KD and Steph. The reason. So what is he even saying?
I don't know.
I don't get what he's saying. Is he saying that
no
KD
idea.
and Steph were friends and that's why they won chips? Because that's just a lie. They won. The team was just better.
I don't know. Can I say one thing, JD, from the chat that I just think is just blasphemy?
Go ahead.
I think this is just so stupid, but I have to address it because I'm just gonna keep typing through the show.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Andrew G, I don't know, like if you're in the Discord, but he put that I brought up my point about like great players arguing and not being able to get right after. So I used Diana Taurasi and Skylar Diggins, and he's bringing up the point that because they're women, they were pretty much never going to. Women don't get right. Like they were never going to be good because they're women and women don't get right. And he's saying like I've seen men punch each other at a bar, but this is my thing. Kobe and Shaq won a chip, and they couldn't play with each other no more. I mean, Draymond called KD the B word, and they couldn't play together no more. Like, fellas, when we're talking in the realm of sports, yes, there's maybe differences in terms of the money made and things like that, but team sports are team sports, fellas. It don't matter if it's what the genitalia is, guys. Like, please,
It's silly.
Let's grow up a little bit.
Silly. Okay, in the same realm of what we're talking about, and obviously with what we were just saying, this video of Draymond knocking Poole out, this is going to live forever on the internet. And I want to ask you guys, do you guys feel like social media can play a role in impacting a player's performance on the court, on the field, whatever?
I don't think that. All right, y'all about to make me preach on a Sunday.
Deacon Dub.
So listen,
Yo, right up.
I think we need to. I think we need to have an honest conversation. If you do anything sports or even a podcast, anything that generates a lot of attention, you need to be prepared for hate. You need to be prepared for people to disrespect you. You need to be prepared for people to own you in a sense and just not agree with you in a sense. They're going to be upset with your play. They're going to be upset with what you play. They're going to be upset with what you do. And you need to be able to battle through that. Now, I don't think it's okay for social media to have effect on somebody and their play style. But at the end of the day, we all human beings, bro. It just happens. Like, so there's some words that hits us the wrong way. It stays in our brain, and social media does have effect on us. I mean, negativity is 10 times stronger than positivity. You feel me? And the more negative energy you feed, sooner or later, bro, it's gonna affect you. So the best advice I'll say to people is just keep your head strong, keep a strong will, bro, and just push through that. But shit like that, negativity and negative and energy in general can greatly impact people's play, their style, and just the decisions of what they do. And it's a sad reality in which we live in. I don't think it's right. And I think us as men or women, we should be able to battle through that. But it's hard. Feel me? It is hard. It's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. And obviously most recently, like the chat's tapping in with this. Ben Simmons, prime example. Westbrook, prime example. I mean, these guys just get blasted on social media every day for the last several years now. I hope that they are able to kind of look at it for what it is. It's a bunch of people on the internet. They don't know these people. They're just saying stupid shit. Like, you also have to look at the people saying the things, right? Probably don't got a whole lot going on. They're bored, whatever. You have to take it with a grain of salt and move on. With that being said, it is also, like, to Dub's point, it sucks seeing so much repetitive hate coming your way. It messes with your head because then you start questioning yourself, your abilities. Exactly. So I hope that they're able to just kind of, ignore that stuff to the extent possible. Obviously, they're in even a more difficult situation because us with social media, we can turn that stuff off. We can decide not to read comments, whatever. But the players have to answer to the media, and the media feeds into this stuff, and they're asking them questions in these interviews. So it just compounds. So even if you tried to get off of social media and ignore all the things that are being said and posted about you, you now have the media coming in and just compounding on it. So it's a tough spot, man, to be in the public eye as a celebrity, as a professional athlete.
But to go off of what you said, at the end of the day, bro, you gotta look at it like this. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. You feel me? I'm not half empty. I'm glass half full kind of guy. You feel me?
Love that.
If you out there, if you got haters, if you out there and you doing your own thing, you gotta understand something. You the one that got haters. You the one doing all this shit. They not on the same level as you. Why do you think I could come up here and fucking see all this bunch of L dubs and shit in the chat? It's because at the end of the day, you cannot allow shit like that to have power over you, my guy. And you just gotta keep pushing through it. If you over there putting yourself in a position where people are hating on you, that means you doing something right, and that you just gotta push through that shit. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think too, shit, to add to your point, Dub, you gotta also just be secure with yourself, yo. I think a lot of that shit comes with self-security, and I'm not gonna sit here and say it's easy because obviously social media, you get to see what everybody else's life is like and shit. But also, I think some of these NBA players gotta start pulling out the y'all broke card a little bit more. Like sometimes, bro.
You like that? You like when they flex that?
Because that's what I would do sometimes. Like, yo, you are mad at me for certain things, and obviously some of them didn't play well as basketball, whatever. But bro, if you still talking about this shit 6 months later, tripping on me, like sometimes just back out the y'all broke. Like, yes, Westbrook, he get mad hate, but he just signed for 40 plus M's. Y'all broke. I'm cool. Like, I'm good. And I think the biggest thing too is just like, look, you gotta be willing to, you gotta love what you're doing, bro, more than what people have to say. Cause shit, on Gridiron on TikTok, they be cutting our ass. And you said it best. They be like, y'all come up here and say whatever you want, bro. We say the shit that we really think.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes we may be trolling a little bit, like one another or fans. We got an audience that we literally communicate to on a Discord on a daily basis. But ultimately, I'm commenting back. It's not about me being insecure or nothing, but like, this is a debate show. You can say, oh, I hate what you said, but I'm just going to give you a sports take back. Like, you got to wake up and love what we do. And at the end of the day, y'all watching it. I'm on my Easy E shit. Remember when it was like, damn, they burning the Easy E tapes? Yeah, but they still bought them motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
I like this.
That's still viewing the shit. You still watching. You coming.
I like I like this comment from Tyson Thomas, Players Choice member, by the way. He said, I don't think it's social media as much as your peers and your bosses, coaches, GMs, etc. I think what Embiid said and Doc Rivers said was far more impactful, far more impacted Ben more than any social media. And that's another aspect of it, is that it just goes to my point of the compounding of the negativity, right? It's like, it's one thing to see this stuff coming from people that you do not know. It's another thing that is a harsh reality, and it hurts even worse when it's the people closest to you that are saying the thing. So
the main thing I really don't like about Ben Simmons though is sometimes you just gotta go through the fire, my G. You just gotta go through it, bro. It is what it is. Like, you just can't run away from this shit. If you get hate from your peers, you get hate from your coworkers. I could agree with you. It does hurt more than usual. But listen, you got to be able to face that fire. You got to be able to push through that thing. You just can't run away from your problems like that.
You did sign up for it too.
And that's the main issue that I had with Ben Simmons. I feel as if he ran away a lot from the problems which he was in play. Listen, bro, we all go through problems. I got problems my damn self, bro. And people, this guy said, easier said than done. Trust me, bro. There's shit where I was like, I do not feel like being here. And I was like, fuck it. I got to do it. It is what it is, bro. It's my fucking life. I'm not going to let all these outside factors affect what I have to do, bro. So I got to go through the burner. I got to go through the burners. It is easier said than done, but I'm somebody that does that shit no matter what.
You're right.
So I have a freedom to say that, Tyson.
You're spitting right now. You got to get up and wait. You got to wake up and do it. Like, every time, I agree. Like, sometimes all of this, like, woe is me, pity shit, we pity ourselves to death. Like, bro, nobody's pulling you out the water but you, bro. Nobody but yourself. At the end of the day, Dub hit that shit right on the nose. And sometimes, bro, even when you pull yourself out of the water, you know what the biggest thing is? Accountability. Like when Ben Simmons, you know, he said to the media when his air ball went viral that well, I wasn't the only player that airballed on my team, and you think I'm really airballing? Yeah, but that shit looked broke. You airballed it, and you have a narrative about you. At the end of the day, that's something you got to sit and live with until you prove people wrong.
You got to be real, bro. You got to be real with yourself. Like,
I understand to that, bro.
Listen,
it is what it is. It's the narrative about you.
Listen, I understand the hills that I fucking go on. I understand the hills in which I die on. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to change how I feel. I'm going to say how I feel. I understand why I get the hate in which I do. I got to go through the fucking burner, and I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, this guy has a bad take and this guy has a bad take, so why are you not doing it? No, bro, I know what the fuck I be saying. You just got to go through this shit, bro. Yeah, it is what it is, man. And you can't. And if you over here deflecting blame on other people and not taking accountability, yo, Ben, you played ass. Like, you played ass, bro. I'm sorry. Like, you did. You just got to accept that.
Let's move. Gabe sent another super chat, said, Dub got my salute back. Preach, brother. All right, Mars, I got a question for you. Shaq recently, not our Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, recently said that Penny Hardaway was better than Kyrie Irving is. Do you think that Penny is better than Kyrie, and why?
I think Penny clears Kyrie. I don't know why. I don't know what would make Kyrie. Well, I know what would make Kyrie better.
Nah, Kyrie shit is.
I know the argument.
And you talking to a Jersey boy, Mars. You know I'm rocking. With Kyrie, Mars, because he's from Jersey, bro. Come on now. That shit is on the string, man. Mm-hmm. Don't even do that,
that
Mars.
shit off your foot.
I still think it's Penny.
Don't even do that, Mars. That boy Kyrie is.
But when I say CP is better than fucking Magic Johnson, everyone lose their fucking mind.
No, that's crazy.
Wait, so are you guys on the Kyrie Irving side?
Yeah, but I'm biased though. I know I'm biased. Like, I know my side is biased because he's
self-awareness is a good character.
That's my dog, and I'm gonna keep it gangster. Like, I'm taking Kyrie, but it's biased. It's 100% biased.
Dub?
I don't fucking know. I think Penny, he's bigger. He does have a nice little skill set. He's probably a better defender than Kyrie. As a number one for my team, I'm not mad at somebody picking Penny, a healthy Penny. So
yeah, I'm not mad at.
Well, we have to assume health because he fell off after.
Oh, now everyone wants to assume health. Now everyone wants to look at the chat. Look at the chat.
See, Mars, this is what happened when you just then you supposed to save him, Mars.
Look at this.
Mars, you're
Penny
supposed
was
to
ahead
tag
of his
him
time
in,
where
bro.
he was playing. Oh, but he was hurt all the time. So Kyrie has to be fucking better than him, right?
Kyrie's
y'all,
also
bro.
hurt all the time, to be honest. But yeah, I think Penny's clearly a better player than Kyrie.
Yeah, I don't think that was like a hot take by Shaq at all. But I'm rocking with Kyrie.
I didn't know it was something that had to be said. I thought it was like, I mean, no one really talks about Penny, but I thought it was just something like Penny's better than Kyrie. Okay, yeah. Like you just move on. It's just something you say and everyone agrees.
So let me ask you this, Dub, because we're gonna talk about injuries. So is it crazy to say that Penny would have been better than Kobe?
Better than Kobe? Nah.
I mean, when they asked Shaq the same thing, Mars, I know you've seen the clip. When they asked Shaq the same thing, he told him to chill out. He said, "Yo, chill out. Penny was a god." Like they said, chill out.
Yeah, Penny was nice, but you ain't have to compare it like Kobe.
But you also
I'd have to do the if thing. I'm doing the if thing.
Well, Shaq said that, right?
Healthy,
Shaq said that he could have potentially been better than Kobe, right?
Yeah.
And well, goes back to my bias.
I don't do the if he was healthy. Like I do the if he was healthy thing in terms of him succeeding and then winning NBA championships.
No, I dragged it, Dub. I was dragging.
Yeah, you dragged it.
Yeah, I can't.
Just trolling. I was trolling.
I can't project more improvement.
I was trolling. Yeah, I was 100% trolling. Yeah, trolling.
Yeah, that much improvement, bro. God,
that would be crazy.
God bless you.
But he's better than Kyrie. Just
all right. Mars said 2 weeks ago, I believe, on Player's Choice that Ja Morant was the most overrated player going into this year. So I want to ask, who's the most exciting player coming into this season? Is it Ja Morant? He could still be overrated and still be one of the most exciting players. So, Dub, I want to start with you, though. Who's the most exciting player coming into the season?
The way I rank exciting is different from everybody else.
And that's fine. I want to know who you think.
Yeah.
Like, who are you most excited?
I'm not going to hold you. I love watching Steph Curry play every fucking time. I think he's one of the most exciting players to watch, especially with his ability to change the momentum, bro. So it's like exciting, bro. It's like I think Steph Curry is the most exciting player without a doubt in my mind, bro. I just love watching him play. Ja Morant, maybe he's up there, but for me, I'm picking Steph, and I'm not thinking twice.
I'm going from the perspective of when I think about exciting, there's a difference between players who are good, great at basketball, and they can run it up without doing anything crazy, right? So like a Tim Duncan, obviously, for exciting, or for great player who's does a ton. Not necessarily the most exciting player to watch, but he's an all-time great. But when I'm thinking about exciting, I look at guys like Vince Carter. Vince Carter was one of the most exciting players of all time for me, for sure. You look at an Allen Iverson. And for me, I think it is Ja Morant for me this season. Again, well, I don't know about again. I don't know that I was looking at it last year like he's going to be the most exciting. I know that I had him taking a leap. But after seeing what he did last year and just the way that he does it, it's just like it's kind of like a Vince Carter on steroids to me, because he has a little more variety to his game than a VC. I won't say Vince Carter was one-dimensional, but Ja Morant, everything that he does is exciting, from dunking the basketball to even like block shots. Like this guy's leaping from the free throw line to block stuff off the glass. Like insane. J-Rob, who do you have? Who's the most exciting?
I'm actually gonna go. I love Ja Morant. I'm not gonna lie, because I think he's gonna break the identity of when people say like this, the athletic point guard can't help you win a championship. I think he'll be able to break that Derrick Rose, Westbrook like curse kind of John Wall stigma. I think he'll be the first to break that. But in terms of most exciting, I'm not gonna lie. And the chat said as well, I'm gonna go Zion Williamson. Because I personally think like this kid's just the size, the athleticism, it don't really make sense. Like he is really Shaq and Shaquille's baby, like the fusion of both. And I mean, I'm excited to see him be healthy this season for sure.
Shaq and Shaquille?
Shaq and Barkley.
Gotcha.
Shaq and Barkley.
Shaq and Barkley.
Is it because he's fat?
Nah, I'm just saying about the games. Like
his game is like Charles Barkley. Okay.
Not size, bro. Not size.
Crazy. All right, Mars. Most exciting player going into the season.
Kyrie. I think Kyrie's the most exciting. But when I think about excitement,
give Mars his W's. Give Mars his W's. Give Mars his W's in the chat, y'all.
Mars, that was Kyrie. Yo, Mars. Yo, You made me do the salute correctly this time, bro.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think it's Kyrie because when I'm looking for someone who excites me, I want someone who ball on a string, score from through all three levels. Duncan for me is not like crazy exciting. Like dunks like Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant, they're exciting, but dunks like Giannis, I'm like, okay, whatever. But Kyrie, the way you can finish below the rim, both hands, post game, mid range, 3-point pull up off the screen, he can do everything with the ball. If you want someone who's exciting, that to me that's exciting. But it's, I don't know, from excitement doesn't mean good. So don't want them to get confused between the two.
Oh, they'll get confused.
Yeah, someone can be the most exciting, but not the best.
Jay, I didn't say my favorite player to watch. I want you to say it though.
Me?
No, Jay. JD.
Your favorite basketball player to watch?
Mm-hmm. But I want you to say it.
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
No, it's yours. Who's your favorite player?
Oh, who's my favorite player to watch? Well, it's Luka Doncic. But
that's why. That's my favorite player to watch as well.
Yeah.
I hate watching Luka.
But
what?
So,
what? Really?
So
really?
Two things.
How you love Jokic? Their games is kind of that slow mo, bust your ass.
No, the reason I hate watching Luka for the same reason I hated watching James Harden. It was like there's no layers in my opinion. Okay. There's no layers to it. It's step back three, get to the rim, draw a foul, kick out.
Take a bump, get a leg.
It's the same reason like I'm not. It's like I don't know. It's the same reason like Giannis isn't that exciting to me as well because it's just very repetitive. Luka to me, he does the like these guys are all like some of the top 5 best players in the world.
Right.
Like, that's
he's a robot.
But in terms of excitement, I'm like it's a same combination step back. If they bite on the step back, it's a hezzy. You're going to the rim. So every time.
So
like,
obviously, I'm a little.
That makes sense.
Obviously, I'm a little biased, right? Because I am a Mavericks fan. And Luka just so happens to be one of the best players in the NBA. But I still can get excited to watch Luka Doncic play, not because he's because there's obviously no explosiveness to him, right? So it's not like, this is crazy. But where the craziness comes from is he could run it up to 40 any given night in the way that he's doing it in just slow motion and hitting these deep threes in your face. Like it gets ridiculous. So it's like, that's what I think that's the exciting part about it to me. Yeah. Not so much like, obviously it's nothing close to a Ja Morant.
You know whose game I actually think is my bad, Doug. Go ahead.
Nah, the thing I just have to say about Mars, bro, like me personally, when I watch basketball, one of my favorite things to seeing is somebody just making tough shot after tough shot. Yeah. Defense not being able to do anything about it. Luka Doncic is that guy, bro.
He's one of the best shot makers in the NBA.
Hand in his face, bro.
Yeah.
He's just shooting over people.
And that shit, slow ass release.
I agree with that.
Slowest jumper, they can't guard it.
If you played horse with everyone in the NBA, Luka, Steph,
Kyrie
maybe, like those guys in terms of the shots they can make, the circle shots they can make, I agree completely. But
Jokic, I would put Jokic in there too.
I would I know who I put in that shit too, and I actually wish I would have brought him up. Paul George. I like to watch him play basketball. I think it's like
he's 6'8" Kyrie to me.
Yes, exactly. Facts, Mars. Facts, and that's why I love him because he's also doing the crazy handle shit, but he's also dunking on you. Like he's gonna mix you with a handle and then dunk on you at the end of it. Kyrie's gonna lay you at the end. So I love like Paul George's game is like Vincent Van Gogh to me.
Most of the most exciting players to me are guys who operate in the mid range. So guys like Kawhi who don't really have an exciting game to most. But
so you love DeMar DeRozan,
except him. Literally, the exceptions to that rule are Brandon Ingram and DeMar DeRozan.
You don't like Brandon Ingram?
He hates Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this. We talked about this because of the Duke game.
Besides those two, if you operate like in the mid range, if you're a 3-level scorer, you're going to be very exciting to me. Like KD, right. I love watching KD, Kawhi, Kyrie, Embiid. I love watching Embiid play.
I don't know a player I hate watching play.
Who?
Jimmy Butler. I don't like it.
That's your dog.
I hate watching the Miami Heat in general.
It's my guy. It's my guy. Don't get me wrong. And I love it when he overcomes the odds.
He's very fundamental.
bro, I love when he's like overcoming the odds and shit. But I'm just like, it's like when I watch him play, I'm like, yo, this is ugly, bro. Like,
I don't
not
know that it's
pretty.
ugly, Dub. It's just not. It doesn't
It's
get
not
you out
pretty.
of your seat.
Yeah, it's just like,
Can
He's
I,
just
can I
fighting.
say
He's
can I
fighting.
say one thing? Can I say one thing to Mars and Dub? Because I know you guys are on the opposite side of my like take with this. But let's be honest, fellas. What is it? Jimmy Butler is a win first player by all stretch of the imagination.
For sure.
You don't even have to
He's
like
not-
how he wins.
But he's a win first guy.
I can
And
acknowledge
yeah,
that
yeah.
he's winning and be
He's
like,
win first though.
I don't enjoy watching
but
you
my
win.
thing,
I don't
no, but
watch
my
him
thing
play
is this. Dub says he's a top 10 player.
top.
I have him
never
above.
put
I
that.
have him above
Fringe.
Paul George, and I prefer to watch Paul George play.
But what I'm saying is he don't do nothing flashy. He's not a better talent than most. We only got him up there. Why? Because he went first. Like it's not his game. It's not how it looks. It's just because of like when he's on the court, a team has a better chance to win when he's out there because of just his.
The main reason for Jimmy Butler I love so much about him is his selflessness.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's the guy to allow his teammates to be himself, to allow his teammates to do what they have to do, and even if he has to take 2 or 3 shots a game, he's willing to do that, and that's really beneficial to the team. On top of that, if you do need to lean on him to get a bucket late in the fourth quarter, he's gonna sit here and step up to that plate.
Yes.
So that's the main reason why Jimmy Butler's so great in my eyes. It's not the flashiness, it's not the shooting splits for me. It's just.
But that's my
I preferred watching.
I think
him
he breaks the
Chicago.
mold. I think he
preferred
completely
watching
breaks the
Chicago.
mold of like what we view. Go ahead, Mars. My bad.
I preferred watching Jimmy in Chicago, even though I think he's clearly a better player now. But I think Chicago Jimmy just had more excitement to his game.
Yeah.
Maybe because he
More
was a
of a
better scorer.
package.
He's a little more
He was a
athletic
much-
too because he's younger too.
And he was a much better shooter as well. Like he actually had like a great mid-range game in Chicago, and he could shoot the free. So I just preferred that.
I just think the only thing about Jimmy Butler is like if we do like the top 12, top 15 players, he's not in the 15 because of his game. You know, like
I think
we'll
it's
say,
his game.
I'm talking about like just like the flashiness, like
the aesthetics.
yeah, like the aesthetic of his game, like how it looks. Like nobody's picking Jimmy Butler because of
It's
how
ugly
his
as
game
shit.
looks.
It's ugly as fuck.
It's the fact of his impact.
That's what Miami
It's
is.
his
You have
impact, that is why.
Miami's offense is disgraceful to watch. It's just dribble.
No.
handoff,
Honestly,
dribble
no.
handoff,
Honestly,
dribble
though,
handoff.
I love
Facts,
watching.
bro.
I
I
love
hate it.
watching. No, I love
facts.
watching
It's just
Miami
dribble
play.
handoffs
No,
all
no, no,
day,
no, no,
and
no,
let's
no,
get
no.
a three, bro.
This is the
Dribble
casual.
handoff, let's
This is
go
the
for
casual
three.
shit that y'all just be talking about, bro.
That's not
I
casual.
I love
It's no-
watching them. I love watching them play because it's such a team dynamic, bro. And just watching the fluidity of how those guys just running around and playing off with each other. That's why I think it's one of the. I love watching their offense.
I understand it because you're a
understand
Miami
that.
Heat fan. As someone who's not a fan of the team, I don't want to see dribble handoffs and team
Yeah, I
basketball. No,
agree
give
with
me some mixtapes.
Yeah, I agree.
care
My
about
thing, my issue with the
Don't care.
Miami Heat dub is when all else fails at the very end because they just do the same kind of simple concepts, keep that shit simple. At the end of the game, when shit's close, it's just Jimmy, get us out of this, please.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I'm not a fan of that. Like at the end of the game, that last 5 minutes is all right. Well, Jimmy, we don't know what to do. Eric Spoelstra, make sure Jimmy gets it on every possession and get us out of it.
But honestly, no. Tyler Hero was supposed to be that secondary option as well. We didn't see that in the playoffs though because he was hurt.
Is you think he's better than Jordan Poole, or you think Jordan Poole should have got more money than him?
I don't care if you say Jordan Poole is better. I mean, I don't.
No, I'm
really
asking
care.
what you think. No, because I know the constant debate has always been once Jordan Poole got this money, everybody's been bringing up Tyler Hero now. So that's why I was asking.
They think that Tyler Hero should get. I don't think he should get that much fucking money. You crazy? Hell no, not even Tyler Hero.
I thought they was gonna get. I said this. I don't think they was gonna get the same amount. Like I said, Jordan Poole's 40 is the punch fee, bro.
Nah,
That's the only
it is.
reason.
It's
There was
the
a
punch
fee
fee,
on
bro.
this shit.
I'm not paying Tyler Hero that shit. Hell no.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Hero is nice. I think him and Jordan's in the same tier of each other.
I
Hero's
actually think
slightly
Jordan
better.
Poole's the better player.
You're splitting hairs, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I actually would take Jordan over Tyler.
Scrippa to Flippa sent a super chat. I've seen a couple comparisons in the basketball world with Anthony Edwards and a young MJ, athleticism and physique wise. It's a reach, but I could see it low key. What are y'all thoughts?
Anthony Edwards is a much broader build than young MJ was.
Facts.
Anthony Edwards is at 6'5", 225.
180,
MJ was at
yeah,
6'6", 190 or something.
Yeah, 185, bro. He didn't start lifting weights until the Pistons, bro.
Yeah, I don't see the physique similarity. I think MJ was quicker. First step, just up and down the court. Explosive vertically, I think maybe that's where you see the comparison. But besides that, I don't see it.
I think my biggest issue with the comparison is like there's a lot of like freaky athletic guys like Anthony Edwards in the league now, and I think when you look back at MJ, his athleticism was almost an anomaly. You know what I'm saying? I think now in today's NBA, there's a few guys that's jumping out the gym and gliding in the air like Anthony Edwards. So I feel like the young MJ thing, it's a little kind of a reach, a little bit, just a little bit.
I don't see it.
I know we've talked about this before because D'Angelo Russell, this is when he tweeted that there's more athletes than basketball players in the NBA. Do you think that, J-Rob?
Yeah, in the sense that, like, I think Blake Griffin was a great athlete that played basketball. And when you had a guy like Chris Paul to get the most out of him, it made him look like a really good basketball player. I think the same could be said about Clint Capella. I think he was just a real athletic big. James Harden put him in a lot of great situations where, yes, he looked like an all-star caliber center, but I don't think he was doing too much Xing and O's. I think a lot of that stuff was being in with a high IQ player, and sometimes not. I think certain players are great athletes because they have players that don't make them think the game. You know, they kind of put them in the situation to be great, and instinctually we know I'm about to rim, dunk the ball, or things of that situation, or I'm open, shoot it. So I kind of felt him on that a little bit.
You see how this?
But I don't want to say they're not basketball players. I don't think that's fair to say either.
You see how this makes a full circle? A guy being viewed better due to the situation he was a part of. But when I say that Chris Paul is this guy, I'm getting all this.
No.
You don't have to do Chris Paul again.
I don't know why you keep trying.
No, bro.
You keep trying to shove this square peg in a round hole.
This is facts in which you are doing, but you don't apply the same energy.
Not Curry though. Not Curry. If we do certain players, we're not doing the. My issue with you was that you said
give Chris KD. What's going to happen?
I'm not doing it with Curry.
I said this before. Do you know how our views would have changed if the Houston Rockets would have beaten the Golden State Warriors? Would we even say that they are probably the best team of all time?
You're not wrong, bro. You're not
Thank
wrong.
you. I know I'm not wrong.
But
you don't have to tell me
go
that.
by what did not happen, bro.
Context matters. Make context matter again.
You can't do
That's
it
what I'm preaching again.
You can't do it if to compare CP and Curry, bro.
Create a logo. Way. Make context matter again. MCMA. Make context matter again. Because y'all are fucking ridiculous. I swear to God.
So
pretty much you felt my point though, what I was saying though about the athletes though.
Yeah, I did. 100%.
Last show, we kind of talked about this. And the question is there more players that can be considered the GOAT, that can be considered in the GOAT debate? And, LeBron and Michael Jordan are, typically a consensus 1-2. Obviously, last show, we have Ron and Bobby who believe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is number one, and they're not alone in that. There's a lot of people in the world who believe that Kareem is number one. But is there anyone else really that could be considered in that conversation? We tried to put Magic there.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell can be considered.
I'm not jacking Bill Russell because no, Mars, no.
Because
you don't have to. I'm just saying. For me, he's the only one who could. For me, it's MJ. LeBron,
if you were to put him in a debate.
So it's only Bill Russell because of what he accomplished in his career.
Most people would say Kobe, though.
Not for me, but
a lot of people would say Kobe.
A lot of people would say Kobe. I know Bama believes Kobe is the greatest of all time.
I don't know how you could validly argue that Kobe is the GOAT.
I can't.
KD? Wait. You said KD or Kobe?
Kobe.
Kobe.
Oh, I heard.
I love Kobe. Definitely in my top 5, but I couldn't debate him to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
I just think there's some things.
I could debate Chris Paul.
No, you couldn't. No way you could do that.
The only guys I could debate is LeBron, MJ, Bill Russell, and Kareem. Bill Russell's a stretch. Like I don't think I can make the debate, but I can try.
I'm not gonna lie.
Mine's not because of accolades, but that's the only guy.
I think that Kareem agenda is just dead. There's too many talking points to sit here and attack with him. After viewing in his career, we can sit here and see the invalidity he has of being in the greatest of all time conversation.
I think you just underrate how good he was in Milwaukee.
Mars,
I agree with that too. I don't like when people call.
I'll let you go on your monologue because I'm not going to disagree. So I let it happen. I
Mars,
think you underrate.
No.
Mars, don't let the alliance ruin your mind, bro. Don't let this alliance ruin your opinions, bro.
For the most part, I agreed with what he was saying. about for most of the stuff he said, but I just think you do underrate how good Kareem was in the 70s. And like you said, with context, there's situations that made it so that he couldn't win more championships than he did. So I think you're a bit unfair on him in the 70s.
Yeah,
No, I'm
call
unfair
Kareem
on him.
Abdul-Jabbar
I'm
fraud.
unfair on
I
him
think that's
because
bullshit.
I'm unfair on him because of the way that people are unfair towards other people. Do I sit here and believe that Kareem wasn't in a position to be winning titles 100%? I know and acknowledge that, but they don't have the same energy in the talks of a Kobe Bryant. They don't have the same energy in the talks of a LeBron James at times. They don't have the same energy for a lot of people, but they're willing to override that because they like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the stats and the accolades of which he accomplished. All I say is I'm applying the same energy that the masses apply to other NBA greats like a Kobe and a LeBron James and try to diminish them. All I'm doing is doing the same thing with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You see what I'm saying, Mars?
Okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
I didn't
it's
argue with
hard
you on
to
the show.
diminish Kareem,
Imagine-
though, Dub.
Imagine if LeBron missed back-to-back NBA. LeBron missed the playoffs in back-to-back seasons on 2 different teams.
That's a fact too.
On
That's
2.
That's a fact too, though. People will go crazy. No, you're right. People will go crazy.
No, bro.
They will go crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
bro.
they wouldn't care about the context.
I like Fluent's point though in the chat because Fluent said if you were the consensus best in your era,
yes,
you could kind of have an argument that you're the GOAT, and I could agree with that.
Hold on, wait. Now let's put this into context again. Out of everybody in the top 10, the top 15 players of all time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the only guy to not directly coincide with all of the other players in their prime in the top 10, top to 15. Hear me out. Wilt and Bill Russell, they were exiting. They were retiring. Magic and Larry Bird, they were coming in the 80s, not in the 70s. LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, all of these players played within the same time frame of each other during and battling against each other in their primes. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the only guy that did not have that.
Also, so Wilt Chamberlain, if you guys remember a couple episodes ago, we had someone come on, one of the viewers came on and was arguing why Wilt should be considered in the GOAT conversation. It's getting a lot of attention on TikTok. If you haven't seen that, go over to our TikTok. He
did have mad points. I saw that video actually.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in the comments who are saying these are good points. So I want you guys, if you haven't checked that out, go check that out. And I want you guys to give me your opinion. But I asked that LeBron and Mike, this GOAT debate, to transition into this question in the same way that we ask, what does LeBron have to do to become the GOAT if you don't have him as the GOAT already? What does Steph Curry have to do to become the consensus number 1 all time?
He would have to be, I mean, I'm not going to lie. He would have to win like 4 more, bro. It would have to be almost ungodly, like what he would have to do to win. Like, I'm not going to, Steph Curry could get 6 rings, bro. I'm not putting him over Mike or LeBron. I'm just keeping it so honest. Like, he can win 6 rings by the time he's done. I'm not putting him over Mike or LeBron. I can't do it.
I don't think he would. I don't think Curry will ever have the case of being the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
he could three-peat. I don't
There's
care.
people that exist out there that have Steph Curry as the GOAT.
I got Steph Curry top 10. He could climb for sure, but I just can't put him as the 1-2 greatest player to play the game. I just can't.
Yeah, I think it's too late for him to catch LeBron. Based on how I do it, Steph would have to do what he's been doing since 2015 for like another 10 years. And he'd be 44, and that would be for him to have a chance in the way I do it, and that's
I agree. I'm definitely the wins guy. I know I get a lot of heat for my accountability when it comes to winning games, but 6 rings or 7 rings to 4, that's not going to be. It's not going to be the reason, because if he wins 3 more rings, it won't just be because of him. Jordan Poole will have had to gotten better. Wiseman, Wiggins, Moody, I think it will be other guys who will have significant impacts on him getting other championships.
Christopher D, Super Chat. MJ, Braun, Kareem, Magic, Duncan, Bird, Bean, Shaq, Wilt, Steph, my top 6 all have a combination of multiple rings, finals, MVPs, and MVPs, peak and consistency.
I like that.
Thank you, Christopher D. All right. Now, last season, we saw in Andrew Wiggins, who I don't think going into the season anyone thought that he would be an all-star. And so I want to know if there's any guys who are kind of underrated or not really on anyone else's radar that you could see that's not like a consensus all-star, but you could see being an all-star this season. All-star, RJ Barrett. Let's
Oh
keep
my
pushing this agenda.
God,
I'm going Scotty
bro.
Barnes, actually. I'm going Scotty Barnes.
That's not a bad one. Would you consider him like an underrated guy, though? I look at him kind of like, not that it's a no-brainer, but I see it. I see it for sure. Go ahead.
My issue with it is this. And the only reason I call him underrated is because who gets all the clips out of his class? Cade, Jalen Green, and Mobley. And remember, those three guys didn't win Rookie of the Year. Barnes
Giddy
did.
even.
Yeah, Giddy. Like, all of them get all the attention out of his class, and they're not the ones who won Rookie of the Year. So I still feel like, to me, mass media, like mass NBA Twitter, even though Scotty won Rookie of the Year, I don't think they view him as the best player coming out of his class. They look at Cade, Green, and Mobley as those guys. And I personally think Scotty has the most potential out of all of them, personally.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he should have been the first pick in his draft class.
Do you think it's because of all those guys in his class that were kind of at the top? Do you think it's because he was on the best team of all of them with the Raptors?
I personally think he didn't have the fanfare coming in like the rest of those guys, because I don't think the Toronto Raptors were that good. I just think they had the best coach out of those other teams.
Not that many people really knew who Scotty Barnes was, unless you're a basketball geek, of course. And
he was a bench player in college. That's
he came off the bench. He came off the bench at Florida State.
LeBron actually, and we've given him his credit for this before. Dub, you were the one that give him this credit. I think he called it back in the clubhouse days or something. To watch for Scotty Barnes. I like that, J-Rob. I like that.
He's a dog, yo.
I do like that. Year 2 All-Star.
Year 2 All-Star. I think that's going to be him.
Dub, do you have any guys that are kind of overlooked going into the season that you could see being an All-Star this season?
It's not even overlook. It's just forgetting on how good these guys are. I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of those guys that he's a guy who could sit here and elevate his game to a level. He gets better every year, especially with Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's another guy who's getting underrated. If he's cleaning up his shooting splits and he's improving on his game, that can elevate and make things easier for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be successful as well. So I don't think Josh Giddey will be an all-star. I think he will make a good improvement that people are forgetting about. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a guy that I think a lot of people have forgotten about.
I hope the Raptors trade for him, actually.
SGA?
Why would the Raptors trade for him, bro? They won't win a chip with him.
I forgot.
Scotty Barnes is him, bro. I'm telling you, that kid Scotty Barnes, when this shit ages and we're at 1 million subscribers, bro, and we have to talk about this shit again, my Scotty Barnes agenda is going to hit so different, bro. I think that kid is top 10 player in the NBA type of talent.
In how many years?
I give him year 4, bro. To me, he's Giannis.
In 2 years, top 10.
I mean, we did it with Luka and Tatum and all these other people. It's not impossible.
Luka was kind of a glaring, like, okay, this guy could for sure slip into the top 10. But Scotty Barnes, to me, I don't look at Scotty Barnes and I'm like, okay, he could be a top 10. Okay, I could say
I look at him like Giannis light, bro. Like he's like Giannis light to me.
So
I don't know. I just love this kid. I love this kid's like the potential that oozes out of this kid Barnes. Like I'm in on it. I give him year 4 or 5, bro. Year 4 or 5.
Ace Sturdy brings up a good point. Tatum wasn't top 10 year 4.
Tatum hasn't been top 10 ever.
But Luka.
You don't have.
You don't think Jason Tatum? People got Jason Tatum in their top 10s right now, Mars?
For sure, people do. But
they definitely do. I don't think I do actually when I do mine, but yeah, I think people do.
I think Jason Tatum.
I don't think he should be there.
He's close. If he's not,
I think Jason Tatum. He is close, but I don't think
12?
that. Yeah,
I think he's like fringe between 10, between 9 and 12.
For sure,
I think it's an outlier.
He's top 15. He's like 13 for me, 13, 14.
It's an outlier if you're in if Jason Tatum's in your top 10. I don't think he's
I don't think
that
that's
much.
an outlier.
Most people, a lot of people would have him like.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I've seen a lot of top 10s that got him between that.
I know someone who has in top 3, but
to 15.
In the NBA right now.
Yeah,
they're in the Discord.
Top 3.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it sleeping?
No, it's a Boston Celtics fan.
Oh,
fire.
wow.
Okay,
but it's not biased apparently.
It's godly.
It is.
Like to me, that shit is kind of crazy, bro. Like Tatum 3. 3?
Yeah, Giannis, Steph, Tatum.
He's a poor man's Paul Pierce. It's like, let me not
Tatum
be
gonna be better than
disrespectful.
Paul Pierce.
I think Jason Tatum's already better than Paul Pierce, honestly. I think what he brings.
I don't know about that.
I want, Dub, when I say I want to be there with you, like I want to back you on that opinion because I want to feel that way. I'm gonna give it 2 more years. I'm gonna give it 2-3 more seasons before I do that. But I'm there with you. I am there.
Based off what I've seen from both of those guys, I think Paul Pierce is a better scorer, sure, but it's not by a far margin. Jason Tatum is a great scorer. Score? Nah. Paul Pierce was very fundamentally
I think Tatum is a more versatile scorer and a better defender.
I think the defending is the differentiator between me. Like the defense is really what separates Jason Tatum to Paul Pierce for me, which is why I think that Jason Tatum right now in his point in time is better than him.
Mars. Sorry, you can finish.
Nah, give Jason Tatum, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, those guys. I think the same thing's gonna happen.
Mars, do you have anyone that's kind of underrated that you could see slipping into the All-Star game this season?
They won't be an All-Star because there's a lot of guards in the West, but De'Aaron Fox is very underrated. I think because of how stacked the West is, he won't make an All-Star game unless people get hurt. But he's one of the 7 best point guards in the NBA.
You know who I think was going to have a better season?
7 or 8.
I saw someone put Darius Garland in the chat. What was he not an All-Star last year?
I think he was an All-Star.
Yeah,
he was. The shit was in Cleveland. There was no way he was not going to be All-Star.
Yeah, Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland were both there.
Yeah, there was no way they were not going to be All-Stars. I'm not going to lie. You're going to hate this, Morris, but I think Anthony Simons is going to have a better season than De'Aaron Fox.
I like Anthony Simons. I'm not going to argue. I think De'Aaron Fox is a better
Like, he's better right now. Yeah, like, right now he's the better player, but I think by the season's end, Anthony Simons will be.
I won't push back on that because I like Anthony Simons. I like Jalen. Jalen Green's not going to be an All-Star, but I expect him to have a great second year.
He's ridiculously athletic, bro. Like kind of for a guy as skinny as he is, like his build, he is stupid athletic. Jesus.
Who?
Jalen Green.
He's also one of my favorite players to watch, but it's hard to watch Houston sometimes.
Yo, tough, bro. So let me ask you, who do y'all have do you have any idea who you think will win the lottery this year? Like, I can't wait to see tanking this year. That's actually the one thing underrated thing I'm waiting. Yo, it's gonna be masterclass. You're gonna see a masterclass of this shit. It's gonna be almost comedy.
J-Rob, that's terrible for the sport, bro.
It is terrible, but it's gonna be hilarious.
It's not really terrible because if you think about it, most of these teams who are tanking this year, they'd end up just being 7 seeds regularly. Like, no one really cares about them as a 7
like JD, I can't.
So you might as well just have all the good teams. This year we have like 8 championship contenders because everyone else is tanking. So I think this year's going to be more competitive at the top.
Yo, JD,
and it's going to be competitive at the bottom, trying to lose.
Nah, facts. I cannot wait. I cannot wait till there's that one game where whatever head coach in the NBA gets that boss call from upstairs and they coming back on a run and he sub out the whole 5.
Yeah, that's
take the whole 5 out.
Those Orlando versus OKC games are going to be pivotal. When you see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to have 30 and his coach is going to be like, okay.
Right, here's the thing.
I dare Keldon Johnson to try to average 25 for the Spurs this year. I dare him.
Here's the Mike.
Damn him, bro.
No, Keldon Johnson's tough. I like.
If you try to average 25, Dub, he'll be playing in another city.
He
bro.
damn near might. I think he
They're
might.
They're gonna tell Keldon before the season starts, bro. You
as long as it's empty.
It's gonna be empty. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be empty. I think Keldon Johnson is sure gonna get 23 to 25 points per game.
Players aren't on board for tanking though. You know what I'm saying?
Not.
They want to go out.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's been shut down 2 years in a row. Like, it's not really up to him. They just tell him to stop playing. So
JD, they're gonna he's gonna go to practice. These players are gonna come to practice. These young players and like, I know you're young, you don't get it. I'm like, chill out though.
But I think you guys are overrated.
JD,
I think y'all overrating. I think y'all overrating.
JD, there's going to be a compilation last year of how bad the losing was.
I think there's at least 8 teams I can think of off the top of my head who I think are going to actively try and lose games.
Thank you, Mark.
So I got Orlando.
Yes.
I got the Knicks.
Yes. No.
The Knicks ain't trying to lose. The Knicks ain't
trying to lose.
They're
too much.
They are good. They are good.
They are
bad. They're not trying to lose.
They spend
money. I'm just projecting who's gonna be trash, and then I think over time it's gonna change. They're just gonna be losing games. You feel me?
Okay.
So I got Orlando. I got the Knicks. You said Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yes.
I mean, they made the play
as well.
Yeah, LaMelo.
Okay, Charlotte.
Yeah, for sure.
Detroit.
Yeah, they're not trying to
maybe, but I think they'll try to
be. They might start the season hot, but they'll come to a realization when they're a 10 seed, it's not worth it.
I think they'll try to be competitive. I agree. I think they'll try to be competitive to start the year.
Washington with Bradley Beal coming back?
No, they're trying to make the playoffs.
Okay. So
but
that's
they're gonna suck though. Still though, Mars. They still make.
They're gonna be bad. They're gonna be okay.
Like the Wizards can try and still be a 10 seed.
So then after that we have Houston.
Yep.
Yes.
We have.
You didn't say Indiana. OKC. Indiana's trying to lose. You didn't say Indiana.
Yeah, they are trying to lose.
About Indiana.
Indiana's trying to lose.
Indiana. San Antonio.
Yep.
Utah.
Yep.
Yes. I don't think you said OKC.
OKC.
I think that's
so
it.
that's 8 teams.
That's 8
like
teams.
I said, 8 teams that are trying to
lose. That's what I'm saying, bro. You're gonna see we're going to see JD is going to be a massive.
Think about it like this, Mars.
Think about it like this, Mars. Clinic, bro.
That's every year. You're saying like, oh yeah, so many people are just gonna start tanking. Where I'm like, 8 teams is like the amount of teams on a year-to-year basis that's just trying to.
That's about a quarter of the league.
8 teams, bro. The bottom of their 4 teams are usually always the teams that's just losing games.
Yeah, that's what
in every conference.
Adam Silver is going to try to put out a statement to say we don't want these teams tanking and all that. And he'll say, oh, well, we'll lose a percentage of the lottery, some shit like that. Then teams are going to look at Adam Silver, tell him to kick rocks, and say, we want Victor, okay? Like, every team, all 8 of those bottom teams.
I agree. I don't think they care whatever Silver says. I don't think.
Whatever it takes to get to me, bro, I hate to say it, I'm a LeBron guy. Victor Wembanyama is the best prospect ever. Best basketball prospect ever, bro. Not player, just prospect. And
I feel you on that, but the way
I'm doing whatever it takes, JD. Whatever it takes.
The way Mars was saying it, like I was just thinking in my brain, it's like there's mad teams. That there's mad teams that's just gonna be just
no, because the way I'm looking at it, this is a year where there's no middle. There's barely any middle teams to me. You got like
Ignite
8 teams who are going to be trying to win a championship. You got 8 teams who are actively trying to lose games,
bro.
That means there's only 14 teams who are like, man.
I'm signing like Chicago, Taco Fall, and
Atlanta. Those teams, they're like
Carter.
You think that they're gonna just be losing games just to try to get Victor, bro?
No, they're just they're the mid teams.
Bro, yes they are. Teams are going to. I can't wait till the season starts. Y'all see this?
No. I think he was talking about the Bulls. Like they're not.
Yeah,
going
they're gonna be the teams that are like
Mars by January they are going to enter the sweepstakes, brother. I'm letting you know that too.
Most teams who
by January of 2023, the Bulls will be in the Wembanyama sweepstakes. Standing on that.
The Wembanyama sweepstakes.
Yo, can I make a top 10, top 15 players of all time or top 20 players of all time next episode?
Well, we've had 10, and it was.
Oh, do you want to do that for Open Gym, Mars? Both of our top 20s.
I'm down, but don't make me try.
No. You campaign for yours. I campaign for mine, and then we'll have it on the screen so people can see
Mars,
debate it with us.
Don't let him just speak. Interrupt him if that shit looks bad, okay?
No, because I'm not fully off the Chris Paul where you have him. I'm not fully.
Okay. Also, hold on. Let's make some ground rules here.
It's not
Mars, you're not putting him in your top 10, Mars.
No, he's not in my top 10. But when I consider the fact that Dub doesn't rank guys from the 60s.
Listen. I
don't rank guys from the 60s.
I'm gonna act as Mars's agent here. I'm gonna act as Mars's agent here. Dub in these negotiations of the Dubs from Mars, or the Dubinaires from Mars. I apologize. I'm going to ask that this allegiance stays on Player's Choice, the show. Mm-hmm. Open Gym, that shit's got to be out the window. That shit's got to be out the window. You guys can't be on the same team in Open Gym.
We wasn't even on the same team.
Okay, I'm just saying. We can be hey, that's fine if you agree.
Wait,
but
Mars, we wasn't even on the same team last episode, right?
Mars, like you sit here on Player's Choice now, ever since the alliance has happened, you cannot be quiet when Dub jumps off a cliff.
Dub was making his case. Dub was cooking.
Yo, when he jumps off a cliff, Mars, you need to get him.
Wait, hold up, J-Rob, because I hate this shit. I hate it when y'all do this because even Mars, a guy who usually disagrees with me, even he can see the context in which I'm speaking in.
Yo, and I
can't get him in. I can't get him in the top 10.
Yo, Mark. Yo, wait, hold on. Dub, can I ask you a real question, bro?
What?
At what point in this journey that we're all on in this sports media shit are you going to give up the word context?
I will never.
Because I ain't gonna lie. At some point, there gotta be a here lies.
No.
Rest in peace to the shit. Context. I'm gonna say
make
this, bro.
context
I'm gonna
matter
tell you this.
again.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Make context matter
You can't
again.
use the word context to bail out every. Because that's the only thing you use now. I ain't gonna lie. I love you to death. This ain't me talking shit. But I come on basketball. I come on football. We talk a lot, bro. I feel like nowadays, bro, you kind of complacent with that shit.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
When people say stuff about context, Dub has to ask for the context.
But it's always context, Mars.
When J-Rob, when people ask me, J-Rob, it's not about ifs. When people ask me a question and how I view something, I need to explain to them the way that I'm viewing things. When I view everything in my life, I look at everything, son.
But
I look at the context.
I look at take away what the context, like JD said to you before. You sometimes disregard the context that's already there. Though.
Not at all. Not at
all. I agree with that.
And let me look
that
at
was the best way to say it, actually.
And I'll explain it like this. If I'm gambling, right, and this is the way I look at.
Yeah, I be gambling too. We both do it.
When we're gambling, bro, we look at everything.
That's a fact.
We look everything in context, who they face and everything.
Emotions is out of it.
Emotions, the way I feel. What even you did about fucking the last game? I don't give a damn about that.
Yes,
I thought that the Steelers. I had a good feeling the Steelers was gonna beat the Bucks today. I didn't push on it, and they beating them right now.
Yeah, out your emotions, right?
Not off of my emotions, off of.
No, I said off of them. You're not on your emotions. I said off your emotions.
I'm off. So when I'm sitting here and you're asking me to analyze the sport, you're sitting here asking me to analyze anything in life. I look at it in a gambling aspect, and I try my best to acknowledge everything to have the most closest thing to the truth that I possibly could. I don't see what's so wrong about that.
I do think. Do you ever think that some people, like, at some point you can't always go back to, like, bro, if these things did happen, bro, because at the end of the day, we can't talk about what could have happened. Sometimes I do think the context thing doesn't always mean that because it's context, this could be right.
But what I say is, when I say provide context, I don't include context and be like, oh, this player isn't that great because of this. I say, well, this guy had all of these things going for himself, which allow him to play at this high of a level.
Okay.
And then other guys who didn't have the same type of scenario. For example, the 2018 Houston Rockets. I thought that was the best team in the NBA at that time. But the context to that was the only reason why they did not win the championship is Chris Paul getting hurt.
I mean, see, and this is why,
and that
bro,
context matters.
I hear that point. But I'm not gonna lie, bro. I always say this, man. I get you. 100% feel you. You could say Chris Paul got hurt, but at the end of the day, man, I do think James Harden in one of them 2 games has to be great. He has to be great. Like, I know y'all don't want to hear that.
He was ass in Game 7, and they only lost by like 9 or 7
I know y'all don't want to hear that shit. I know y'all don't want to hear that shit because it got to be a full team. But, yo, how did we talk about that man? We was calling him the greatest scorer since Jordan. I know he have CP. I know,
James
but all he had to do is we need one game from him, though. We just need him to have one crazy game.
J-Rob, I'm glad you said that because we had an episode 8. We re-aired it the other day, and I think Dub sent it in the chat. It was either Dub or Mars said,
it was
no way you guys had James Harden a better score than Michael Jordan. Who said it? Dell?
Shaq. It was Shaq.
Shaq.
Might have been Shaq or Dell. But,
nice.
But during that time, you remember that time, though? He was averaging like 33, 34 a game. And what they say, this is the best offensive weapon since Jordan. And I don't think you're wrong, Dub. I don't think the context doesn't matter that CP3 wasn't there.
So
I just do think that James Harden, as the player that we expected him to be at that time, sometimes and this is why I always say greatness matters. And this is, I think sometimes you have to be great enough to overcome, and I think he could have did that.
But not a lot of you're putting unrealistic ass expectations on people, bro. A lot of the times, all these guys, they it's hard for them to overcome.
But don't think these guys have these expectations on themselves?
LeBron James, of course, I think
James Harden has those God level expectations about himself.
Everybody should have their expectations on themselves.
So I don't feel like I'm putting them on him. You should expect it.
But listen, LeBron James, if he don't got the dice rolling for him too, he's not gonna fucking succeed. His guys got hurt. He didn't win. He
That's
needed
true.
guys to
Very
elevate
true.
to put himself in a position to win
You're not
championship.
wrong.
If LeBron James, an undeniably top 2 guy, needs help as well, needs people to be healthy, why the fuck are we gonna crucify other guys when the best player, the arguably best player of all time, has shown us that even he is a victim of health, even he is a
I
victim of
agree.
teams not being as great as they are, even him. He is a
No,
victim
you're
of
right.
that.
You're
So
not wrong.
why
Look,
so why are we gonna
I
sit
agree.
here and crucify people for not succeeding if the greatest players of all time couldn't succeed to outside factors as well?
No, I'm not crucifying him for it. I'm not crucifying him for it. I'm just saying is I do think there are moments in the greatest players' careers that we look at that define them as players. And I'll be honest, one moment, I'll give you Luka Doncic, for example. It's not he didn't win a championship, but when he outscored Phoenix on his own, had more points himself than the entire team, that shit was a defining moment for him just because obviously it ended up being a rout, but it showed what type of dominance of a player he personally by himself can be, how he can lift a team on his own. And I'm just saying at that time, James Harden was, could we all agree, maybe top 3 in the league? Maybe.
I agree with you on James
maybe
Harden.
Top
I do
3.
agree with you with James
so
Harden.
My only point was never so much that I needed him to win it all. They didn't have to win the championship in the finals. But I do think in that moment, that was his moment to show why people say you were the best offensive weapon since Jordan. And I just wish that he could have had that. I wish he didn't come up so short. Even if he would have had like 60 and they would have lost by like 3 or 7, I could have lived that. But I just felt like that was his moment to be otherworldly.
And he didn't show up.
He just wasn't otherworldly that
and
day.
to provide, and this is why this all.
But I
makes a
definitely
full
agree with your
circle.
point. He got hurt. That definitely
This
hurt.
all makes a full circle. I agree with you with James Harden, but this makes a full circle as well. I said statistics are a product of the environment and situations that you're part of, on top of your players as a talent. James Harden ain't putting up that many points and not if he's not in the Mike D'Antoni system, and they're not running, gunning, and shooting threes the way he's doing in this type of era. You feel me?
That is the whole offense was designed through him.
That's a clear representation of how your situation is affecting your numbers.
That's
your situation is affecting your stats. And people, this is what people do. They see your stats and they just forget about everything else that you're a part of. Like, oh, 35 points per game, you're a great scorer.
Yes,
why not? Why come you're not the greatest scorer of all time? Or top 3 scorer
I
of all
haven't heard
time?
why come in a minute.
No, I agree.
Why come? That's crazy. Haven't said that in a long time.
No, I agree. No, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, bro. I actually don't. I just
you disagreed with me before. You disagreed.
Yeah, because I do think I still do believe.
Now?
No, I don't disagree with the point that you were making. That's what I said. I don't agree. I do think you also. I do think you don't always need to know every single thing, like with this context thing you do. Like if they didn't get hurt, like I don't think saying, for example, we need context for Chris Paul because if he didn't get hurt, he's an arguable top 10 player. Like to me, no amount of context can get that off, bro.
Let me ask you this.
No amount of context can get that off.
For sure. The great wall of context.
Yo, you can have the greatest wall of context, and it's not getting that off.
You talked about showing up in moments, right? Even losing efforts for Luka Doncic, right?
Yeah.
Chris Paul has done that as well. There were series where he showed up in big moments, but his team was not able to overcome that. He performed on time.
Guy, though.
2018. Think about it like this.
You said, Dub, you gotta understand. You're saying the top 10. You're talking about Valhalla.
Can you imagine?
You're literally talking about Valhalla, bro.
Can you imagine if Chris Paul and James Harden beat the Golden State Warriors?
They would be crazy.
The world would change.
It would be crazy,
the
bro.
world would change.
That's a fact, but it
my
didn't
life
happen,
would change.
Duh, but it didn't happen, bro. I agree. I think even the way we would talk about James Harden as a player would completely change. I think people would compare Harden and Curry way closer than they do. I agree. But Dub, that did not happen. And there's no context to put that into perspective.
So can I ask you this? If James
because
Harden,
honestly, because it would have changed if he would have had one game for his life and they win that series.
If
James Harden, shit would have changed.
If James Harden and CP didn't get hurt, if they won the championship, would you still view James Harden the same way? that you do now?
No, I don't.
And I disagree. Now, see, let me tell you this. This is how you know that I'm consistent. I'm gonna view James Harden the same exact way.
That's a fact.
You want to know why?
I know that. Yes.
You want to know why? Because in that series, he wasn't playing a dominant performance. He was very up and down. There was some inconsistencies in that game throughout that series. And if he won in that same type of fashion, my viewpoints on James Harden would have stayed the same no matter what. He's a guy who, in the playoffs, he's very up and down, inconsistent, and seems as if when the going gets tough, he's not going to answer the call. I don't need a championship to invalidate that. If he wins, he just wins because he's on a good team. But he's the same type of player no matter what, even if he still won. And that's the point in which I'm making. Just because you win a championship, that doesn't dismiss all the negatives you have in this career. And a lot of times people do that shit.
But the thing is, you're saying top 10 player. Like, I don't think you need 10 rings or 6 rings or 4 rings to be around in that top 10, top 15 range. But I do think a guy like James Harden, he needed a ring in order to enter Valhalla, bro. That top 10 to cement himself. Because we know what he is. We personally know. Like, I got James Harden on my list of all-time players. He's not too far off, but he can't be in that top 10 because I do think the one thing about everybody has the numbers in the top 10. So the numbers, you can't do the numbers. We could talk about the situation. Some guys' situations were different. I always say KD took 2 more rings from Bron. I do. I think KD took 2 rings from Bron.
But I disagree. I disagree with you.
I do think it's hard to get in Valhalla without having that.
I disagree with you saying that if him winning a ring enters him there. I don't think that even enters him in that conversation.
For Chris Paul?
Oh, you said Chris Paul. I thought you said James Harden.
Wait, James Harden. I think James Harden too. Like, I think James Harden will have a better case than Chris Paul to be a top 15 player if he wins a ring.
Nah,
you don't think so?
Where are you at with this? Because I don't think so.
Because Mars took his shit back. Y'all like Chris Paul more than James Harden?
I think Chris Paul's higher all time.
And Chris
by the end of his career, you still think he'll be?
Yes.
No,
J-Rob, it sounds like you have James Harden like in your top 15.
No. I don't have James Harden in my top 15, but I don't have Chris Paul in my top 15. And I do think James Harden is a better player. I'd rather have James Harden.
I think James Harden is a better scorer, but when it comes to impacting the teams and the playmaking aspect of everything,
as a player, Chris Paul.
Look who he summoned. Look who he summoned. We started hyping up James Harden. Look who he summoned. Hello, LaRon.
Y'all can see me? How I look? I look good.
Yo, you look like a kingpin, bro.
A pimp named Slickback.
Hey,
I love it though. I like the change. I like the color too.
On my off days, that's my nickname, but I ain't gonna get into that. Right now, I'm here to talk about how much of a fraud, not Chris Paul, Doug, James Harden is. He's a fraud with like 5 D's on the end.
Oh my God.
Hey,
James Harden.
That's a fact.
He's a fraud? James Harden is a fraud.
He's a fraud. Listen, James Harden and Chris Paul are nowhere near the top 10.
So James Harden is a fraud.
Who do you have better? Chris Paul
is not a fraud.
Or James Harden, Ron? Who do you have better?
Next show, I'm going to do my all overrated team and I'm going to do my all underrated team. I couldn't make this one. So on Wednesday, I'll be back. Hey, I'm going to give you guys a starting lineup.
I need an invite. I need to be on that show that day. I ain't going to lie. I need to see that list.
Come on. Pull up Wednesday.
Hey, Ron, are you out in the streets? Like, are there civilians walking around? Can you like go interview somebody?
I can't. What's up, baby?
Yeah, okay. You just talked to a cloud.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I will flip my camera around. I don't want to make her nervous, you know.
Okay.
Hey, now, for real though, has anybody heard from Bama?
Bro, he's ducking. Bro. You don't want to talk
Bama
to
lost
us.
last night, right?
You don't want to talk to us, bro.
Oh man, he's in his feelings.
Yeah, but let's not get away from the matter at hand. James Harden is the biggest fraud in NBA history. Yeah, no, because I thought
that was Kareem.
Yeah, I thought it was Kareem.
Well, how is he a fraud? Kareem is not a fraud. We got to stop saying that.
Can you watch the show? Can you just watch the show? Because I don't feel like having this conversation every episode.
Stop saying Kareem is a fraud. That don't even make sense.
It really doesn't. But James Harden's a bigger fraud than Kareem.
Hey, we just got a super chat for you, Ron. Eric Dupree said Harden's a top 10 regular season player of all time.
And that's why he's the biggest fraud of all time. And that right there.
So if I applied that same logic, to Aaron Rodgers, that would be a fucking movie on the show if I applied that same logic. called Aaron Rodgers a fraud.
Hey,
Best
J-Rob.
regular season guy.
J-Rob, Dan Marino is James Harden.
That's a fact.
Regular season God.
But that doesn't make them a fraud. I don't think Dan Marino's a fraud, though. I don't think James Harden is a fraud.
But
they are the same, though.
He can't be anywhere near the top. Look, James Harden ain't even top 40. He can't be nowhere near the top 40 because.
So how is Chris Paul top 40, Ron?
Who said Chris Paul was top 40?
Your man's in the top left corner.
Yeah. I heard that nasty shit.
Bro.
I heard that nasty shit, and that's why Fluent put you in a blender / put you in a he put you in such a spin cycle. That was Dub.
They're lying, Dub. You never got cooked.
No,
I don't.
Mars, stop.
I'm not gonna hold y'all.
Mars, you're lying to
I'm not gonna hold y'all. It really wasn't much of a spin cycle. I think he got.
He cooked you. He cooked you.
No, he didn't.
He ate your lunch, bro.
He didn't cook at all.
So Mars is the most. No.
I'm clearly the most unbiased.
Mars is the most objective. Mars is the most objective.
You ain't even saved your man.
Mars is the most.
Why would I save someone who didn't need saving?
That wasn't being cooked. You didn't want to get
Mars is politicking right now.
I know.
Bro, he's been on his politics.
He's been politicking the whole show.
Hey,
listen, when you analyze, hold up, wait, Ron, because now we need to understand how to analyze an argument. If you analyze an argument and see the points and two of them are making, regardless of which you would agree or disagree, you have to analyze in the points and each of them are making. I think both of us was providing good points. It was good battle. You agreed with what the fuck he was saying more with him than me, which is why you're saying that.
So
bro, you said Chris Paul is a fringe top 10 player of all time.
It's not ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Why was
because
everybody in the chat?
The chat do the same thing. The chat do the same thing.
The chat does the
same thing. They go with what they agree with, not based on.
Also, Ron, it is nasty pointing to the chat.
Exactly.
I'm saying, I'm reading the chat. They talk about Dub gonna have a hangover tomorrow. Dub got destroyed. Fluid just dug a 6-foot grave. This, and that.
Yeah, chat's wrong.
The chat is wrong. I think we both provided good points, so it's just the chat just didn't agree with me. That's all.
Nah, y'all bugging.
It's not like I was over there, didn't have a counter to what. Hold on, wait. It's not like I was sitting there and I didn't have a counter to what he was saying. It's not like he said something I didn't know what to answer. It's not. I was.
You know what Mars is doing right now?
Bullshit.
You know what Mars is doing right now? You know when your girl step out and she forget to like do a certain part of her makeup or something, or she got like something in her teeth, and it's like, oh babe, why didn't you tell me this was like this? And like you like, oh, I didn't even know that was there. I didn't even see that. That's what Mars is doing right now.
Mars doing.
Yeah, he's like, he like, oh babe, I didn't even know that you forgot to put an eyelash on.
Mars,
you know,
eyelash. You know when your girl.
You didn't see my eyelash?
You know when a girl
that's what Mars is doing.
Outfit and they're like, does this outfit make me look a certain type of way? Make me look like this or that? You know, I don't want to get canceled.
This is a clear representation of
Mars is the one that's gonna be like, babe, you look phenomenal.
I'm just being honest. I mean, you guys don't
not even gonna be honest with her.
So now watch this. Now watch this. I hate when I gotta ticket you, Mars. Where's Chris Paul in your top 10?
He's not in my top 10.
Oh, what about top 20?
Depends.
What about?
It depends on the list. It depends on the list.
Wait, Ron, I got you.
It depends on the list.
Mars said, verbatim, Mars said, for me to put Chris Paul in a top 15, 20 list, his exact words, I would have to be very optimistic about Chris Paul and very pessimistic about 40 other guys.
40 other guys.
That wasn't exact. That wasn't exact.
Pretty close. Close enough.
It's not close enough at all. I said if I was as optimistic as possible about Chris Paul and pessimistic as possible about most other people, I could get him to about 11th. That's why I said.
Okay.
Ron,
so pretty much, as nasty.
But it doesn't mean that it has to be better than 40 people. I have him depending on the list.
And remember, I said Kawhi puts in top 10, and everybody crucified me.
Eric Dupree sent another super chat. Eric Dupree sent another super chat and said, "No, I'll take it a step further. He's Tony Romo."
Nah.
Hey, this one, Ron. Joe C. Clearly biased. Look at his profile picture. Ron can't talk when Harden's holding up the Larry O'Brien this year.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. I actually really got the Sixers as one of my dark horse teams to win a championship.
No. You don't get to jack Sixers this year.
Hey, but
that fraud shit was crazy, Ron.
No, it is, but it's not because of James Harden. It's actually because of Tyrese Maxey taking a step forward, Joel Embiid being the MVP, and Tobias Harris really being their fourth option.
Oh my!
No, hold on.
God.
I'm not hyping Tobias. But
Don't
as
say
your fourth
Please,
option,
no, that
as your
that
fourth
stock-
option,
Please don't say Tobias.
but think about
that
it though.
stock
Any-
has been
any-
tanking for years.
Any big three in the league would take Tobias as their fourth option, just like standing in the corner. But
I
like
wouldn't.
you can't, you
I'm
wouldn't.
good on that shit.
So Dub, would you take him for the
For
money?
that type of money.
I was gonna say, Ron.
Oh,
you
not
money
that
you
type
would
of money.
Ron,
but
you
he's
take
already
him,
being
but you
paid,
wouldn't be
so you
paying
can't.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
I wouldn't pay him that, but he's already being paid that.
Right.
So, like,
So
you gotta,
you gotta
you gotta take
context
him.
it, right? Make context great again. King
context
CD
great
said
for sure.
CP3 blew 2-0 leads.
He blew 2-2-0 leads. He blew 2-0 leads to Luka and Greek Freak. Again, I don't think Chris Paul was the best player at that time. I think Devin Booker is. We should look at Devin Booker more than the CP3. Blew a 3-1 lead to the Rockets. For your information, Chris Paul only played 5 games. I think Blake Griffin only played 5 games as well. And if he can't be available for games, and that's his fault, he is a 6-foot guard.
There
I've
is
already-
no way.
Hold
I
up,
let
hold
him
up,
get
J.
that
Rob.
off, JD.
Hold up, J. Rob.
Don't
Hold
let
up, J.
him
Rob.
get that off,
Hold
JD.
up, J. Rob. Hold
No
up.
way he
hold
just
up,
said that,
hold up.
JD.
I keep saying this time and time again. If you're knocking Chris Paul for injuries, I'm not going
JD,
to
did
blame
you hear what this man just said? He defended Chris Paul by blaming his teammate.
Jesus Christ.
By blaming his teammate,
Hey, Dub.
he defended Chris Paul.
Let me ask you this.
That's
Let me
crazy.
ask you this, J. Rob.
Dub, hold up.
Wait.
I gotta go.
Hold up.
I gotta go right quick. But I just want
Go
to
ahead,
ask you a
go ahead.
question. Do you have any Chris Paul jerseys?
I wish I did.
All right,
Oh my
that's how I know you're really not a fan. So look, text me what Chris Paul jersey you want, and I'm gonna send it to you a size small, right, or medium.
Send me Hornets.
Let me know which
Send me a
one you
Hornets
want.
one. Send me a Hornets
Got you,
one.
bro. I
Send me a
got
Hornets
you.
That's
one.
Hey,
small,
Give me the
right?
OG one.
I gotta head out.
No.
I'll catch you later.
Yo,
Ron,
you be
that
easy.
was
But J. Rob,
disgusting. He
Nah,
said
that
it.
was
J-Rob,
so nasty.
Small,
But J.
right?
Rob,
Nasty.
let me ask you this, because I know
That was
you're a big
nasty.
fan of this. Aren't you the same guy that says, "Oh, when a
Chris Paul
team
averaged
loses,
21,
hold
8,
on,
and
wait,
2
hold
in
on.
the
When a
finals.
team loses, who do you look at? You look at the best player, right? That's something that I
Chris
know
Paul
for a fact.
not arguably the best player on that. They were both the best players on that team. Chris Paul was just as responsible as Devin Booker was.
So why come you don't?
Very
Why?
much
Why
in
is
tandem.
it? I said why come again? Why is it that you're not putting
Two
the same
strikes.
type of blame on Devin Booker as well? Why come the hate's not coming for Devin Booker?
I'm not
No one's putting
setting the
Devin
blame
Booker
on.
top 10, so that's why.
Thank you. I'll say that. There we go, Mars. That's
And this
one.
is a guy out of
That's
his
one.
prime, bro.
That's one. But
This
two,
isn't
my
the
thing
best
is this.
version of CP3.
I'm not absolving I'm not absolving Devin Booker from the blame. I think it was Chris Paul and Devin Booker a part of that loss. But the thing I cannot do, Dub, is I cannot sit here and say that it was just Devin Booker. They, as a tandem, are like a number one. They are very much together. And I think when they lose, they're bad usually together. It's not just one guy. It's not just Devin Booker. Chris don't usually be that great either. And I do think there's been a legitimate schematic of how to guard Chris Paul. You ever notice that now people guard Chris Paul the whole feet of the court, all 94 feet?
You want to know why? You want to
They
know
tired
why?
his ass out.
You want to know
older
why?
now.
Yes,
They want him to
that's
be
exact.
top.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
That
That's why I
doesn't
say
prove your point, though.
yes,
I'm gonna
it
tell you
does
why
prove my
it doesn't
point.
prove your point.
Because
you're calling Chris Paul a fringe top 10 player. In his biggest moments in his career, you blamed his teammate.
do you know how
If
old
you're
this
calling him a
fucking
top
guy
10
is? J-Rob, this guy's fucking 35, 36 years old who's outside of his prime. You just said yourself, he's getting older. They're playing defenses differently.
Let me ask you a
because of that.
question.
I don't think
Wait,
Chris
so
Paul
is your argument peak Chris Paul is top 10? No.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you lost me completely. Okay. Yeah,
Peak
I
Chris
thought
Paul?
you were
JD,
arguing
and
career.
on
that
note,
No,
and on that
it's
note,
time to watch
Okay,
football.
I
Let's
didn't.
figure
I
this
didn't.
out.
Yeah, I
Figure
didn't
this
know
out,
that.
bro.
I didn't
Tyson
know that.
Thomas, he
I'm
sent
about to
us
throw the
super chat.
headset. You about to make me pull another
Throw the
Ken
fucking
Dorsey,
headset.
bro. You
Throw
about to
the
make me
fucking
call
headset.
another fucking
Throw
Ken
the
Dorsey,
fuck-
bro.
throw
You
the
about to
fucking
piss me off,
Throw
bro.
the
I'm about to
fucking
pull a
headset.
Ken Dorsey.
Because the
here.
fact-
I
again,
didn't know.
this
Throw
be
the
the second
fucking
time
headset.
you
Yo,
made me act
Throw
like
the
this,
fucking
bro.
headset. I don't
What's wrong
care.
with you?
All
I don't
right.
care.
Wait.
Let's close
You
this
really
out. Let's
think
close
Pete
this
Chris
out.
Paul's a top 10 player?
I said he. I said they're
I
the
thought you
Nah.
were going the
Somebody wake
longevity
me up.
angle. That's
Wake
why
me
I
up.
was
I'm
like, I
fucking
can get
The
it.
alliance
Wake me
is
up,
They're in the
crumbling.
same
Wake me
tier,
up. This
bro.
man
The
is
same tier.
bugging.
Put
Somebody
all that
wake me
fucking
up.
water over you. I don't care, bro.
Pete Chris Paul is a motherfucking top 10 player fringe.
Do you not
Oh,
listen?
right.
Yes, he's fringe.
Wake me
Name
up,
me a
bro.
weakness
Alright,
in his
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Name me a
Alright.
weakness in his game.
All right, I have to mute. All right, Tyson Thomas said super chat. Jordan and Scotty were the two best wings of their era, and it's not even close. No competition. Name some other top wings during their championship run. Mars.
Clyde Drexler was pretty good.
There you go. Clyde the Glide.
Name
All
me a
right,
weakness in this game besides injury.
yo,
I'm so
Dub.
I'm
You
mad
can't
at you,
name
bro.
any.
I'm not talking to you
I
anymore.
think
I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm so mad at you right now,
Dwayne
Dub. I'm
Wade
so
is
mad at
better
you.
than Chris Paul.
I'm
Dub.
so mad at you, Dub. So mad at you right now.
Final words. Final words. Final words.
Piss me off.
J-Rob.
Free.
J-Rob, final words.
Yo, final word. Follow me on Twitch. Fuck.
You want to
Mars.
get busted in Madden real quick?
Fuck
Dub
you,
is-
Dub.
Dub is
I'm done
tweeting.
talking to
Anyone
you
is-
till
anyone
tomorrow,
is
bro.
tweeting.
I'll
Come
see
on,
you
let's
tomorrow.
play right now.
Dub
Let's
is
put it on
I'm
the
not talking
sticks.
to
No.
you.
Let's put it
I'll
on
see
the
you tomorrow.
sticks.
Hey,
I'll
do
see
you guys
put it
have
on the
tomorrow.
sticks.
gridiron tonight? Gridiron tonight?
Tomorrow
Tomorrow.
night.
Tomorrow.
I'm not talking to him right now. You pissing me off, bro.
Bro, don't be acting like a female, bro. Come on, son.
Oh,
Don't play me in
Okay.
Madden.
All right. Hey, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Hey, we're out. Catch us on Wednesday. Peace. Oh my God.